Yeah!
I knew Chris was going to get Travis. I knew it.
Zdravo,
Yes.
Laker fans. Zdravo.
Yes.
That is how you say hello in Slovenian. And
geez.
y'all better
Don't
brush
pander.
up on your Slovenian people because the Slovenian era of Lakers history is upon us.
Unbelievable. I'm still. Are you really here? Are you in my dream? Am I in my bed, in my jammies?
Like,
Do we really have Luka Doncic?
it feels
No.
very timely that
Yeah.
we recently lost the great David Lynch, who
Yeah.
created all these dream world, trippy,
I
hard
felt
to
like
know
I
what
was
is real, what is
traveling over LA with,
Yes.
with a bowling ball.
It still feels right now
Unreal.
like a dream world that we are all trying to figure out what does the dream actually mean.
Right now, I feel like I got the better of the deal.
The better the
Right now, I feel like I won the trade. The better of the deal. Except I got you and your brother bouncing around in my head. I listened to you guys right after.
You and apparently a bunch of folks over in Slovenia. It's
But
very
you hit
exciting.
it.
We're
You
already
hit it
hearing
on the
from-
head. Who does this?
Yeah.
Why in the hell would the Mavericks trade Luka to the Lakers?
Okay. So many questions that we are going to be breaking down. Andy Kamenetsky in for Travis, who I'm guessing his body went into shock from this deal and from reintroducing alcohol.
Or he's just in pure bliss right now. Yeah, he don't want to. I don't know. I mean, look, he did all dry January.
Yeah.
And then broke the seal, cracked the seal on Saturday, and Monday he don't show up.
Yeah, exactly. I think his body went into shock between the Luka news, between reintroducing alcohol.
Have
I think
we
his
made
body shut
contact
down.
with
It's
Travis?
it's the Brian Windhorst meme of like the fingers up in the air.
Yeah. Have we made contact?
Yes,
I haven't.
Okay.
We did.
You have not spoke to him.
I have. I
Okay.
actually
You have actually spoke to him. Okay.
Brian and I did an emergency show yesterday,
Yeah.
all Luka all day, and Travis actually called in, and I will say he sounded like hell. He sounded
Travis.
really sick.
Call Travis. I want to hear this.
But, okay, just setting the table, just in case anybody out there still requires a setting.
Boy, you just got out of jail or you woke up from a coma if you haven't heard this.
Okay, so Saturday night, the story for the Lakers feels like they just pulled off a great win, shorthanded against the Knicks in the Garden.
The Knicks.
Yeah, they beat the
You
crap out of the Knicks
mashed the Knicks.
by double figures without Anthony Davis.
Yes.
They hold Karl Anthony Towns to 3 of 12 shooting. Like, from an execution standpoint on both sides of the ball,
Yes.
this was as good as we saw the Lakers this season. So everyone's excited about that.
Pre-trade after
Yes.
that win, how are you feeling about this year?
I am feeling like, okay, I'm feeling like the Lakers are beginning to settle in on an identity.
Wow.
Like
I would have penciled that as a loss.
you know, you're always wondering, like, okay, are they going to commit to it? Like, there's a seriousness that had been lacking with the team. But I'm thinking, all right, this is something that could be foundational, if for nothing else, with seriousness. We're not expecting Anthony Davis to be out very long. Like,
Really?
No.
Is that the news yet?
Oh, yeah. No. The news by...
It was a strain. It was anywhere from a week to like 2 months.
No.
Okay.
All that had been... J.J. Redick had even said that he thought that this was not going to be long-term.
I forgot everything about AD as soon as this trade happens.
No.
Okay, but we were thinking they beat Knicks.
Yeah.
Oh, good. We can still make a move, get a big.
Right. We're going to wonder, like, okay, who are they going to get to back up Anthony Davis? Or maybe like a good enough center that you move Anthony Davis to power forward, or they need some two-way wings. Like, could Rui get moved? Could Gabe Vincent get moved?
That seems like old way of thinking now.
Right.
It does. It's only 3
Will
days.
they use one of the picks? But you're feeling excited by what happened Saturday. Brian and I record for Locked On Lakers, available 5 days a week everywhere. You get your podcast Monday, Friday, always free, never behind a paywall. And for the sickos who like to watch, there is a YouTube component. Brian and I just finished recording our post-game reaction to the Knicks win, which we're all excited about.
Basically, hey, Rob, do something.
But
I didn't know he was going to do this.
But still excited, yes, yeah. Like, still wondering what comes next, but like, this is
Rob,
awesome.
They look good. They won without AD.
Yeah, this is a great night.
They're showing fight. Max Christie
Christie was terrific in this game against the Knicks.
Come on, it was all good. And then, kaboom.
We start seeing, as I'm like processing this show that never will see the light of day. Like, no one's ever going to hear this show.
You should air it anyway, just for posterity.
All of a sudden, we see this news breaking from Shams that the Lakers have acquired Luka Doncic, traded Anthony. Yeah, I'm like, what?
Did not believe it. Yep.
And then it's retweeted with "This is real," which, by the way, if you are hacking Shams, is exactly the retweet that you would put out there. This is real.
Yeah.
Then we start seeing this with other, like Dan Wojcicki from the LA Times. We're thinking this is some mass hack being committed across NBA media.
It had to be bull. It had to be bull stink,
right? Like
because you're trading Luka for AD.
Right. Like
no, that's never going to happen. This is crap.
We did not actually start doing our own show reacting to it until we saw it in the ESPN headline stack, and we saw, I believe, Brian Windhorst on TV. At this point, we're like, okay, either
real.
That's a windy deep fake, like, and ESPN doesn't even know that they're talking to the windy deep fake, or this is real.
Yeah.
These type of trades never happen.
Well, they just did.
Never.
It just did.
Unbelievable.
I don't know. See, I still go back to why would they do this?
Okay, we are going to get into that.
Why would
DeMarco.
Dallas give away a guy you're about to build statues to?
We're going to get into all of that. The trade, Dallas sending Luka Doncic.
He's about to retire.
Dallas sending,
he wants to quit. He don't want to play basketball no more.
Yeah.
Something's wrong with this dude.
He's about to go on sabbatical.
Yeah, this house has no foundation. This is the money pit.
So Luka, Maxi Kleber, who very well could be out for the rest of the season. He just had foot surgery. And
poor guy.
Former Lakers champion Markieff Morris, they are coming to the Lakers for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, first-round pick, and that's it. AD and Max Christie, that's not nothing, to be clear.
No,
that is
big.
not nothing, but
I would never equate that with a Luka trade.
No, you do not think that
never.
if Luka is actually available, that's all it would take.
I thought if you traded Luka, you'd get much, much more. And I'm not trying to shoot down AD. AD is fantastic.
Yeah.
They're going to wind up loving him in Dallas at some. Well, I don't know about loving, because they love Luka.
Oh, I feel.
And I saw how fast people can change. Like in Detroit with Stafford, they loved him. Now they can't stand him. They love Goff. So I don't know if they'll ever love AD, but at some point when he starts to play and they start to look like something, it'll change.
It's going to be tough.
It better work for him.
It's going to be tough, and I feel for AD in this situation. We'll definitely touch on AD over the course of the show as well. AD is put in the position right now through no fault of his own, through no asking of his own. He's the rebound relationship. He's the rebound, the first after the traumatic long-term breakup. He's the first person you're dating afterwards, and your friends often judge. They don't like that person as much. You don't really feel like you're committed to that person. It's just you got to be with somebody. You don't like to be alone. You're one of those people. And AD,
what are you looking at me for?
Because we're in the studio together.
Oh, okay.
It just happened to be
you. kind of leaned in. You zoomed in on that don't like to be alone part. It's not me. No.
I mean, you did remarry.
No. Just trying to put this in relationship terms.
It's going to be tough for AD, like stepping into those shoes when the fan base did not want this guy gone at all. The Lakers, in the meantime, all of a sudden go from being a team where you are wondering how much longer is the LeBron AD thing going to happen, should happen, what the F comes next?
I don't care anymore. This is crazy. Because I never thought AD would be gone before LeBron. As a Laker fan, never in a million years.
Nobody in a million years.
I thought AD was the future. Okay, so now that's all cracked. That world is gone. So I no longer care about that anymore. I'm looking post LeBron for the first time ever.
Yeah.
Ever. I can care less what happens.
Here's the difference. I actually had been looking post LeBron for a while,
but it was AD.
It was more than just AD specifically. It wasn't even so much I'm looking post LeBron in its AD. It's like I'm looking off in the horizon and it's darkness. I don't even mean darkness in terms of negativity. I mean darkness in the sense of I can't see anything. I'm looking in the horizon and I don't know what it looks like.
Are you going to say it's bright because Luka's white? Is that where you're headed? I don't know. Relationship advice, darkness. Wait, Luka, is that where we're going?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I could not accept the Lakers' future, DeMarco, unless it involved a Caucasian, now
yes,
I have one.
You got to admit, when you saw Luka in that Laker uniform, like, damn, that's bright. I've never seen those colors pop like that.
Even Austin Reeves is like, bro,
whoa,
tanning booth.
My God, come
Look
on.
into one.
Welcome to the beach, my
but
man.
Like,
yes, sir.
The path post LeBron, even if you are assuming, like any rational person would have, that it involves Anthony Davis, it still feels murky and dark and mysterious because you have,
even now?
Well, no, then.
Yeah.
Pre-Luka trade, no idea what this was going to be. Now the path for the Lakers, we don't know everything, but the road that you're traveling on, it's Luka Boulevard.
Oh, my God.
And we know that.
And he's 25.
Now.
Heck yeah. He's 25 years old. Love this.
How
he
the
can fill it up.
How the bleep did we get here? How the bleep did this happen?
Yeah.
Going to get into all that coming up next. Travis,
wait. Are you serious? I'd throw that out there for Rob
Dead.
Pelinka.
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes. That is coming up next. Travis and DeMarco, Andy Kamenetsky in for Travis, 710 ESPN.
Hi, my name is Victoria. I am from Sylmar, California, and I just want to say thank you to all the firefighters for everything that you've done. You are so brave, so just amazing and brave, and we appreciate everything you've done for the city.
You know, I want to thank them. You know, without them, the fire wouldn't be the way it is right now. You know, little help like you guys asked for. You know, I got a few bobbleheads, a few jerseys, a few shirts that are brand new, and some baseball cards.
Thank you so much for the first responders and for the firefighters that are helping the community and the people of California and especially Los Angeles. And thank you so much for your work and keep doing what you're doing. You guys are the real heroes.
My name's Alfredo Famath and I'm from Sylmar, right next to the Hearst fire. We got evacuated, but I really want to thank the firefighters for saving my house and my friends' houses. You know, I appreciate you guys, and without you guys, I don't know where to be at, you know, probably without a home, but I really appreciate everything you guys do for us.
What's up, everybody? Cappy here, InsideCrypto.com, and I just want to take a second to thank all the first responders, the firefighters, but I'm going to take another direction here. I was talking about it on the air. Our friends at Lazy Dog and LA Live have been feeding all these firefighters. I'm going to send a shout out to all the wait staff who are feeding the firefighters, who can then feel good, be nourished, go to sleep, and then get out there and fight those fires. So to everybody that's helping, appreciate all y'all.
Hey, Henry Ramos here from El Monte. Hey, first responders, thank you for everything you guys are doing, and keep fighting on. And this is for Los Angeles. Thank you guys, and keep going. We love you, LA.
Taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
And yes, welcome to the Travis and DeMarco Show. Now mornings, 9 a.m. to noon on 710 ESPN. Your destination for LA sports. Let's get back to the fellas. The Travis and DeMarco Show continues right now.
What is this?
Just some Slovenian music. Get used to it. We got some Luka Doncic, making him feel at home here in Los Angeles.
Hold on, bump that.
Actually, really good.
Who is it?
I have no idea how to pronounce their name.
How do you spell it?
Broce.
This is how we as a city say Zdravo to Luka Doncic. This is how we tell him hello.
Okay, stop that.
No, man. Got to work on this. Got to get
Stop
this to
it.
roll. Zdravo, Luka Doncic.
Oh
You
my
are a
God.
Laker. It is official. He has arrived in LA. Also, you can say hola, Luka Doncic, because he is apparently, I learned this yesterday, fluent in Spanish.
He is.
No shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can speak to him all day then.
No
Vamos
shot.
a estar bien.
Yesterday, we were doing, what was it? Domingo Especial de Lakers on air.
Una especial en domingo, yeah.
Yeah.
You did actually really well.
Thank you. No, look, man, I am trying my best to ingratiate Luka Doncic to the Lakers because this is a brand new era for the Lakers. Andy Kamenetsky in for Travis and DeMarco that nobody saw coming
At all.
At all. Other than Nico Harrison, the general manager
And
of
Rob.
the Mavericks,
Yeah.
and Rob Pelinka, general manager of.
How the hell did you keep this quiet?
Okay, well,
How the heck? No, really, how did you keep this quiet?
Nico Harrison will answer that question.
Did you have discussions with any other teams besides the Lakers about this deal?
No, and I'd like to give Rob Pelinka a lot of credit. You know, trades, you guys have been around here, trades don't happen at the smallest level without stuff getting out. And Rob and I were able to have, you know, really intense conversations over the course of, 3-4 weeks that started out as a coffee that, was more, hey, would you ever?
Some coffee.
I don't know. Would I? Let me think of, and then it built upon that. And, we kept it between us. We had to keep it tight. J Kidd didn't know about it. But J Kidd and I are aligned, and we talk about archetypes, and we talk about the culture that we want to create. So I know the type of players that he likes without actually talking to him. Hey, would you like, so I know that. And J Kidd coached them when they won a championship. So I think when you're aligned with your coach like that, I know the type of players that he likes.
Rob's no, Nico, I got this coffee.
If you didn't know that was about basketball, that could be explaining a relationship.
Nico, no. I'll pick up the check. I got this, buddy.
Unbelievable. Wow. I mean, if you knew this, right? If you knew this was going down, could you have held this in?
Yes.
Really?
Okay, I'm actually.
There's no way. This would have got out.
I am very, very good. Sometimes it drives my wife crazy because there have been a few times where she's like, no, really? I needed to know this. Like, as an example, a friend of mine was going through a divorce, and he and his wife had just separated, and he told me, like, I'm telling you this, do not tell anybody.
Yeah.
Like, we're having these problems. It's likely leading to divorce. I told nobody, including my wife, who at one point, because I didn't tell her, asked my friend about
okay, this is you
the
and
soon-to-be
friends,
ex-wife.
Right? Is that friend like the most popular person on the planet? Right. I mean, if you had news,
I think highly of him.
If you had news about
sure.
like Taylor Swift,
right?
That she's about to
but here's the
leave.
Thing. If it is in your best interest, and you recognize the only way I'm at least gonna possibly get this dude, this generational talent on my team,
you keep it quiet,
is to keep my mouth effing shut.
Yeah.
That's how it happens.
But dang, you wind up being a liar then. In some respects, and you have to. What is the old adage? Tell the truth always. No, never lie, but tell the truth when you can. So if Rob Pelinka knew this, and he's talking to him about this deal, but you're also seeing the same players that are playing for you right now. Hey, coach, how am I playing? Or, hey, how am I playing, Rob? You're playing great. We love you. We're going to keep you here forever.
Look, man.
And then a week later.
I mean, that's the life in the league.
Jerry Maguire.
Right.
It ain't show friends, it's show business.
And that's why the whole loyalty thing. It's so funny. Like, how could you do this to Luka? Wait a minute, bro. This is done every single day.
How could Rob do this to Anthony Davis?
Exactly.
Rob has talked about it being a partnership between him and LeBron and Anthony Davis until all of a sudden you decide, I want to be partners at a different
Say that
firm.
again.
This
is a partnership between me, AD, and LeBron.
Right.
Even though he's talking about trading AD to Dallas.
But look,
at the same time.
Everybody knows that it's not an actual firm. It's a partnership.
I know.
But it's not a real firm.
Because the thing is, if it had gotten out, other teams probably would know about it and give offers that were better than the Lakers.
Right, exactly. And what was really clear, and I'm about to play some sound from Luka that from Nico Harrison that I think illustrates this.
Not Nico Collins.
Not Nico Collins. You are having a difficult time remembering
Not
Nico Harrison.
Collins.
Not Nico Collins.
Nico Harris. Thank you.
Nico.
Harrison.
Harrison. Got it. Not Nico Collins.
No, Nico
Got
Collins
Right.
plays wide receiver for the Texans.
Thank you.
He's done for the season, unfortunately.
Thank you. Let's
truly
go.
done. But this needed to be kept really quiet from the Lakers' perspective because you want to get Luka, and from Dallas's perspective,
you don't want AD to find out.
They don't want anyone to find out. But for whatever reason, where I'm gonna play some sound that I think explains it a little bit. Dallas had decided above everything else, including, I think, the haul, or at the very least, the widest possibility of hauls, we want this to be clean. We want this move to happen quickly and cleanly. We do not want this to be a mess openly with Luka. That is not what we want.
You mean talking back and forth and
talking back and forth.
Luka being to avoid the talking heads.
Luka being aware. No, we've decided we are not going to commit to you moving forward, even though the entire world thinks we will. Nico Harrison was asked, why now?
How do we make our team better? There's some unique things about his contract that we had to pay attention to. There's other teams that were loading up. That he was going to be able to decide make his own decision at some point of whether he wants to be here or not, whether we want to supermax him or not, or whether he wants to opt out. So I think we had to take all that into consideration and feel like we got out in front of what could have been a tumultuous summer.
That's what I don't know. Did he want out of Dallas?
Luka?
Yeah.
No.
How do you know that? Because that's what he said.
No.
He said there were other teams loading up. We didn't know if he was going to sign the Supermax deal. He may have opted out.
I think it's the opposite. Look, there's always a chance he could have opted out. Nobody ever turns down the Supermax. What they were really worried about was he would sign the contract. That's what he was actually worried about. It's not that Luka wouldn't stay. It's that he would stay because they didn't want to pay him. I believe it was going to be 5 years, $350 million.
The biggest contract in NBA history.
That's the problem. It's not that they were worried he was going to leave. They were worried he was going to stay.
Why would you be worried about paying him the money?
Because they have internally, and this is something that has been going on with Luka for a while, the concerns about dedication to conditioning, the lack of conditioning leading to persistent injuries, particularly like the soft tissue, lower extremities, like this calf strain that has him out right now. It's going to be hopefully not more than a couple weeks before he plays for the Lakers.
Strain calves.
Well,
I'm just kidding. Well, go ahead.
They are.
It's a fat guy injury. It is.
Okay, I'm glad you said that because there are consistent concerns about Luka's weight.
That's interesting. So,
and they did not think that he was going to be a long-term investment.
You want me to believe that the Dallas Mavericks did not want to pay Luka Doncic all that money because they were worried about his weight and his commitment? Or he just said Luka had a chance to opt out. There was language in his contract where he could have opted out before.
Sure.
And there were other teams loading up. I assumed he meant loading up to get him.
I think they are saying that because what they don't want to do is directly say, we didn't believe Luka's fat ass would stay in shape, and therefore we don't think he's a good investment. You're not going to. It's a great soundbite.
Yeah.
I mean, would love it if Nico had said that, but they're not going to put it like that. You have to massage some of this stuff. You don't want to look like you're openly trashing Luka on the way out because that could affect the next star you go after.
But you're an NBA guy who doesn't sign a player like this even if he's out of shape. You give him the deal and worry about it later.
Of course.
So it's hard for me to believe that they let him go because they don't want to pay him.
Well,
it makes more sense that maybe they had an inkling that he didn't want to come back. Let's just get out in front.
There is perhaps that. I mean, in today's world of NBA superstars and player empowerment, there is always the concern about the guy that either decides that he wants to leave and puts you on the clock to trade me, kind of like what we just saw with De'Aaron Fox going to the Spurs.
That's what I'm saying. We're not playing this game anymore.
But players of Luka's caliber, I'll give you an example. When OKC years ago had concerns that Kevin Durant was going to leave. Kevin Durant eventually did leave. He went to Golden State.
They were right.
But Kevin Durant is so damn good,
Oh yeah.
you take that chance.
So is
You
Luka.
say, if this
Yeah.
guy's going to walk out the door, assuming you want him around, you say, if this guy is going to walk out the door, so be it. But we are going to ride this thing to the very end, because guys like Kevin Durant, guys like Luka Doncic
don't come around often.
They don't come around,
or
in their primes.
Or I'm sick of this whole routine with you, and if I can get out from under before you make this a mockery of us and leave us anyway, like Kevin Durant, I'll just trade you.
Why, of all teams, though, would you sit down with the Lakers? It makes me think.
I don't know.
Is it something that they knew they could trust a star? Is Rob a mark? Is there something happening?
I mean, you did give up AD.
Yeah, and that's no discountable acquisition. Like, that's a big deal.
That's huge.
My first thought, I mean, I said this on our immediate emergency podcast for Locked On. My first thought was, this is Shams got hacked. But then my second thought, once it was clear this was real, was, what does Dallas know that the Lakers don't?
I keep hearing about a leg.
Right.
He's out of shape, whatever. Yeah.
What does Dallas know?
Yeah.
And why the Lakers? Now, to be
We're
clear.
going to find out soon.
Yeah, to be clear, my suspicions were higher when the initial reporting made it sound like this had only been discussed for about 48 hours. Because then it felt like, okay, they specifically targeted the Lakers. It made me wonder, okay, are the Lakers, because let's be honest, they are something of a star effort organization, are they the one organization?
Star effing driven town.
That's what thank you.
Are they the one organization that would not even think for a second, like, okay, wait, should we mull this over? Should we have a conversation? Or
Play that again, please. Hold on 1 second.
Star effing driven town.
That's Ireland, right?
Yes, that is John Ireland.
Okay, go ahead. So out of character.
Upon hearing that this actually had been discussed
for a
little while,
yeah,
I'm increasingly feeling better about this.
Yeah.
From the what does Dallas know is Rob a mark piece of this. It's sounding in part like they targeted the Lakers and Rob Pelinka, because Dallas wanted Anthony Davis, but also because
he knew.
Nico Harrison and Rob Pelinka have a relationship that goes a long way back, and he trusted Rob Pelinka, if nothing else,
to keep it quiet.
Yeah. And that is something that, no matter what you think of Rob Pelinka as a GM, he has consistently demonstrated he will keep stuff tight.
If I told you to keep your mouth shut for 3 days or a month, I'll give you $1 billion. You would.
Yes.
I mean, come on.
I mean, every organization,
because that's basically what you handed him.
They want a guy like Luka.
But
they want a guy like
Luka. Every other
Luka.
GM in the world has got to be like, are you out of your mind? You traded him for... You got one first rounder out of this deal,
and Anthony Davis,
Great
but
player.
in the back end of his prime.
Yeah.
And look, I think Max Christie is no small piece of this. I think Dallas is excited to have Max Christie. I think the Lakers are going to miss Max Christie.
It's in there somewhere.
But that being said,
no disrespect to Max.
No. There's no question.
Yeah.
That if you would open this up to a bidding war, Dallas could have gotten what would be perceived as a bigger package than this.
No doubt.
But they prioritized keeping it clean and quiet above everything
free
else.
pack of shoestrings with Jordans. That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's great. It's a great shoelace. It really is. You're going to need it, but we're not talking about the shoelaces. We're talking about the shoes.
It's unbelievable, and the Lakers theoretically have their future for like the next 10 years mapped out. But what will the next 3 months hold for the Lakers?
I can't wait to see what they look like on the floor together.
Okay, that is what we are going to talk about coming up next. Travis and DeMarco, Andy Kamenetsky in for Travis, 710 ESPN.
Hey guys, it's Mina Kimes, host of the Mina Kimes Show featuring Lenny, here to tell you about a live podcast taping I am doing in Los Angeles Monday, February 3rd, right before the Super Bowl. I am joined by Greg Rosenthal, Jordan Rodriguez, Chris Ryan, Andy Greenwald, and the Rams' own Kobe Turner. 100% of your ticket proceeds go to wildfire relief here in Los Angeles. Check it out, minapodlive.com.
Always delicious. And the best part? They make it exactly the way I want it. I get extra jalapenos for me and no jalapenos for the kids. We both win.
Score a touchdown every time with guacamole from Northgate Gonzalez Marcus. It makes every party a winner. The guacamole from Northgate Gonzalez Market. It's the flavor that unites us. Northgate Gonzalez Market. Every visit has a story.
Hey, LA, let's talk trash. Food waste, that is. Tossing your food scraps in the regular trash sends them to landfills where they release harmful gases like methane. Fight global warming by simply sorting your food scraps and placing them in your green bin. It's quick, it's easy, it helps protect our planet. Ready to do your part? Visit cleanla.com or call 888-CLEAN-LA for more tips. This message funded by Cal Recycle.
Need life insurance but have diabetes, high blood pressure, or on anxiety meds? If you're a 50-year-old male, even porky, or with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of life insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. For affordable term life insurance, call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-444-9336, 800-444-9336, or visit biglou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. 800-444-9336.
Welcome to TGL, presented by SoFi, golf's newest league. It's sharp and it's electric. How is it sharp? How is it electric? Good questions. Try this on for size. 2 hours of hammer dropping, overtime, forcing, playoffs on the line, golf. With 24 of the best players from the PGA Tour, split into 6 teams: Atlanta, Boston, Jupiter, LA, New York, and the Bay. This isn't your average Sunday pickup game. Tune in every week for TGL matches, only on ESPN. Keep up. It's golf.
This is the Travis and DeMarco Show.
Now weekdays 9 a.m. to noon on LA's mega sports station.
710 ESPN.
Hola México, ¿cómo estáis? Es un placer para nosotros estar aquí. Muchas gracias por el recibimiento y espero que disfruten del juego. Y una cosa más, viva México.
That was one Luka Doncic speaking Spanish.
You're kidding me.
Fluent
Look
in
at
Spanish,
Luka.
fluent in English, fluent in Slovenian. You can tell him.
Fluent in three-pointers.
Fluent in three-pointers, fluent in step-backs, fluent in pick and roll.
Is he fluent in defense? Not yet. Is he fluent in
That is
diet?
the language he has not picked up yet.
Is he fluent in conditioning? Let's get there.
Well, we're going to get there, but in the meantime, take a quick call. Speaking of Luka's ability to speak a bunch of different language, international appeal, Eric in the IE wants to weigh on that. What's up, Eric?
IE.
Hey, guys. Good morning. Thanks for having me. You know, this is box office. This is big time. This is nation standard, right? It's all and everything that we want in excitement. But I want you guys to entertain this idea. The first thing that came to my mind, the idea that came first, was Jokic or Giannis is next to come to the Lakers.
Stop it.
Hold on. You have to think pairing, right? Pairing. Who's going to be the next 1-2 punch for the Lakers? And if you think about it, traditionally speaking, historically for the Lakers, whenever you've made a trade, guaranteed championship, right? And if anything we learned from what happened this weekend, nobody is untouchable. So I was hoping you guys can talk about that a little bit more.
I appreciate the call, Eric.
Yeah, we're not getting Giannis or Jokic.
Well, if I had to, if you made me bet which one is more likely, it's Giannis with a bullet. Like, I don't think Jokic would like being a Laker. Like, there's a lot of spotlight and scrutiny and stuff that, frankly, Jokic doesn't.
How do you get Jokic or Giannis here?
They force their way here.
Okay.
Like,
which player on this team gets traded for that?
I don't know.
There's only one other guy.
Sure, but look.
Come on.
48 hours ago, if you had said, could the Lakers get Luka, the answer would have been no.
We're
No,
crazy,
they can't get
but
Luka.
we're crazy, but we're not insane.
Again,
that's not happening.
I want to make it clear. I don't think either is
Entertain
likely.
the thought. Let's say you have a shot to get Giannis. Okay, who are you trading to them? What are you trading to them?
I have no idea. You loop in other teams. I don't think this is likely at all. I just said if I had to handicap it, Giannis is way higher than Jokic because I don't think Jokic would even want to be a Laker. I don't think either is coming.
I like the pairing of a center, a rim protecting center, rebounding. That would be awesome for what you have. Well, but it's not going to be those two guys. Are you out of your mind?
Well, look, once you get Luka and once you start thinking about the history of quote unquote Lakers exceptionalism,
down the line,
you immediately you start thinking about the next 1-2 punch for the Lakers that
down
sets you up
the
the
line.
next,
We're not talking at the deadline.
No. He was thinking down the line.
Down the
deadline.
line, sure. I apologize. Sure,
Right.
I thought you meant at the deadline. They're going to bring in Luka and Giannis in the same month. Come on.
But this does, though, raise the question of what comes next for the Lakers between now and Thursday, between now and whenever this season ends, because
it's almost like I don't even care what happens.
Well, getting Luka,
yeah,
your future is all of a sudden very bright, very optimistic, very defined. But in the immediate, the team did not get better. They did not get better
Definitely
in the immediate.
not. No.
Like, you are defensively right now.
You got worse.
super vulnerable because not just did you lose AD.
But you got a chance to win shootouts.
Well, you lost Anthony Davis, who is one of the best. Forget the best defensive player on the Lakers by a long shot. He's one of the best defensive players, period. One of the most versatile defenders in the league, period. And you lost, if not your best perimeter defender in Max Christie, you lost the perimeter defender that you can keep on the floor the longest in Max Christie because Vando's still on a minutes limit for probably a foreseeable future, and he's a really good shooter.
Well,
Max Christie, you don't hold up this deal because you don't draw the line with Max Christie.
Hell no. Like I
but
said,
you're going to miss Max Christie.
Great pair of
So
shoelaces.
there are things that need to be figured out with this team.
Well, if you're trying
between now and Thursday, if you want to compete this season,
if you're trying to cover the Lakers on the offensive end, you're going to have to change what you do, which will probably change how they attack you offensively because of who's on the floor now. And Luka's out there now. So a lot of things are going to change, but I agree. There's a big gaping hole defensively. You weren't that great defensively to begin with AD.
But they were getting.
But now you have a guy who's coming back from injury, but also coming back with his head on fire because he's mad that he got traded. He has something to prove to the Dallas Mavericks. You can't count out a very fired up Luka Doncic and a LeBron James to go far. To go far.
To play defense?
I'm not talking about playing defense. I'm talking about winning games.
Well, we're talking about playing defense.
But to Emily's point and the general idea of revenge motivation, this maybe is the thing because Luka, in a very, very public way, just got told by the Mavericks, we don't believe in you moving forward. You, this transcendent player in his prime, that the rest of the league would crawl, not just over broken glass to get like through broken glass. Like remember in Shawshank when Andy Dufresne went through the 100 yards of crap and sewage?
Yes.
Picture a tunnel that is all broken glass, like in tight. That's what like damn near every team in the league would crawl through that to get Luka. The Dallas Mavericks said, you're not worth it. He's being fat shamed. He is being conditioning shamed. He lost over $100 million in the process. Your hope is that Luka comes out. He's already a pretty petty, pretty competitive, fiery dude anyway. But he starts looking for the equivalent of his revenge body.
Good. If this is what it takes for him to be motivated,
and he says, you know what?
Yeah.
I'll play defense. I will play defense to the best of my ability. Like, I will do the best that I can moving forward.
That's what you're saying. You're hoping?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
But
you're hoping.
When did that Luka ever exist?
That Luka has never been theoretically motivated in the same way.
We've also seen Luka with his head on fire. We saw him go to the Western Conference Finals when he was basically a kid, and you saw him go to the finals last year, basically by himself.
No one's knocking Luka. We're just talking about defense and the fact that you're going to be worse defensively.
The Lakers,
but I'll say this: but that version of Luka, what you're saying, the in shape guy playing defense, really engaged in it. When did that ever exist?
Again, in theory, he has never been motivated in the same way. He's never been, I guess, sort of forced to come to Jesus in the same way. He's never been slapped across the face in front of millions, in front of his home country of Slovenia. Like, this is different for Luka. his entire life, everyone has wanted him.
It's not like we've never not seen a Luka in attack mode. He's one of the more petty guys in the league.
Of course, but not emphasizing the same things. Like, he's always been in attack mode as a player. He's always been elite as a player, but he has never been, perhaps, motivated to focus on certain things until this incident.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I don't think you're trading for Luka to change him all that much. This is just me. To change him all that much, you're getting Luka to be Luka.
Well, I think you want
and you help get people around him.
Well, it's both. It's both.
Yeah.
You're not going to be thinking that you can turn Luka into prime Ron Artest as a defender. Like, that's not realistic. Yeah. You're going to obviously have to put pieces around him, both moving forward and, frankly, by the deadline. If you want to try to compete with LeBron and Luka at a high level this year,
you're going to need a big.
Respectfully, Jackson Hayes is not going to cut it.
I love Jackson Hayes, but
you need more perimeter
you need an
defense.
There.
You need an upgrade at center. But the hope is,
I wish Jackson Hayes was 40 pounds heavier.
So do the Lakers.
Yes. You know what? Come live with me for a month. We'll put that 40 pounds on you.
You could put Jackson on Luka's diet.
Hang out with Travis. There you go. There you go.
Well, no. Here's what you need. Yeah. You need Jackson Hayes to hang out with bad Travis, and you need Luka to hang out with good Travis.
You need to go golfing with Travis at least 3 times a month.
Well, Jackson goes golfing with Travis like on the weekends.
Yeah.
Luka hangs out with Travis Monday through Friday.
When he's doing 6 miles.
When he's on the accountability chain.
There you go. Good. Good.
Travis becomes the good angel on Luka's shoulder and the bad angel on Jackson Hayes' shoulder. Real quick, Kenny in El Segundo wants to weigh in. What's up, Kenny?
Yeah, so not only is he losing the Supermax, he's also having to pay California state taxes. So on top of the fact that he's $100 million less. But, one other point to kind of put in your guys' head to think about is traditionally the Lakers have always had a homegrown star and then brought in the center via trade, right? This is kind of flipping that. We have the 2 stars coming in via trade, almost like LeBron and AD. So it might be a new paradigm now that we, no longer have the Kobe and bring in the Powell and that kind of thing. No, kept we bring in Shaq. Now we're having 2 stars coming in at the same time.
That's a good point. Who is the homegrown star? Who's the homegrown person, period? Dalton Connect?
It's
Austin Reeves.
You know what's funny?
Yeah.
It's been a long time since the Lakers. I mean, it's since Kobe that they've had that. Like, for a minute, it looked like maybe it could be Andrew Bynum with Kobe.
Oh, God, don't get me started on him.
But he, he was with the Lakers for like 7 years. He made an All-NBA team. Like, he was part of 2 championship teams. And Andrew Bynum, for all the injuries and for all of the, shall we say, quirks, Andrew Bynum was a really good player.
That's how we're saying it?
He was
okay.
I covered Drew. I love Drew, but he was a pain in the ass. I found him hilarious, but he was a pain in the ass.
Cool cat. Loved it.
Since then, though, for the Lakers, it's been all mercenary.
And you're cool with that, I guess.
Well, I mean, look, it's a different type of deal. Like, there are some Laker fans, and I do think this, though.
Travis going off on that about homegrown Dodgers, and I'm like, who cares?
Well, you're not a true Laker fan, though.
What? Oh my God!
How long have you been rooting?
Forever,
dude.
You really?
No, I genuinely didn't know. How long have you been rooting for him?
Forever, dude. I'm from the state.
Okay,
stop. Move on.
You didn't root for the Warriors?
I apologize.
No, okay.
I'm
not going through this again.
No, I apologize. I did not know this.
You just pissed me off. But go ahead.
Well, it was unintentional.
I'm not a true Laker fan. You are? Aren't you from Missouri?
No. I've been. The only NBA team I've ever rooted for is the Lakers.
Thank you. Me too.
Okay, I didn't know that. I genuinely did not.
Oh my
know
God.
That. I didn't know.
Stop. Move on.
Okay. I think for a lot of fans, the idea of your homegrown guy, this is what all the people in Dallas are going through. They thought Luka was going to be their guy in that way, the way Dirk was their guy in that way.
Loyalty matters. I guess it doesn't anymore.
It doesn't matter. But also, there is something different about a team that feels kind of mercenary, kind of like Voltron constructed for a lot of fans.
I never felt that way.
Well, I think some of this too, where I'll explain this coming up next. I think for fans that prefer the homegrown and have sometimes felt alienated by the mercenary thing, which has been a big piece of the LeBron and then LeBron AD era. Coming up next, I do think it's going to feel different in some ways with Luka. And I will explain that. 877-710-ESPN. Also, if you want to weigh in, call in right now. Give us the best of your weekend for a chance at a 2-night hotel accommodation, dinner for 2, and then golf for 2 or bowling for 2 at Fantasy Springs Resort Casino. That is next. Travis and DeMarco, Andy, and for Travis, 710 ESPN.
Hi, my name is Victoria. I am from Silmar, California, and I just want to say thank you to all the firefighters for everything that you've done. You are so brave, so just amazing and brave, and we appreciate everything you've done for the city.
You know, I want to thank them. You know, without them, the fire wouldn't be the way it is right now. You know, little help like you guys asked for. You know, I got a few bobbleheads, a few jerseys, a few shirts that are brand new, and some baseball cards.
Thank you so much for the first responders and for the firefighters that are helping the community and the people of California and especially Los Angeles. And thank you so much for your work and keep doing what you're doing. You guys are the real heroes.
My name's Alfredo Famath and I'm from Silmar, right next to the Hearst fire. We got evacuated, but I really want to thank the firefighters for saving my house and my friends' houses. You know, I appreciate you guys, and without you guys, I don't know where to be at, you know, probably without a home, but I really appreciate everything you guys do for us.
What's up, everybody? Cappy here, InsideCrypto.com, and I just want to take a second to thank all the first responders, the firefighters, but I'm going to take another direction here. I was talking about it on the air. Our friends at Lazy Dog and LA Live have been feeding all these firefighters. I'm going to send a shout out to all the wait staff who are feeding the firefighters, who can then feel good, be nourished, go to sleep, and then get out there and fight those fires. So to everybody that's helping, appreciate all y'all.
Hey, Henry Ramos here from El Monte. Hey, first responders, thank you for everything you guys are doing, and keep fighting on. And this is for Los Angeles. Thank you guys, and keep going. We love you, LA.
Hey guys, it's Mina Kimes, host of the Mina Kimes Show featuring Lenny, here to tell you about a live podcast taping I am doing in Los Angeles Monday, February 3rd, right before the Super Bowl. I am joined by Greg Rosenthal, Jordan Rodriguez, Chris Ryan, Andy Greenwald, and the Rams' own Kobe Turner. 100% of your ticket proceeds go to wildfire relief here in Los Angeles. Check it out, minapodlive.com.
Monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology to match your forward-thinking spirit and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
And yes, welcome to the Travis and DeMarco Show. Now mornings, 9 a.m. to noon on 710 ESPN, your destination for LA sports. Let's get back to the fellas. The Travis and DeMarco Show continues right now.
Oh, so Laura's on one.
I take no credit. This is all Emily. But the music's good, so good job.
I love it.
Hey, congrats to Andy in L.A. You won.
Not yet. We got to hear what he has to say about the best of the weekend.
Oh, easy.
I needed that on screen. Let Andy talk first.
Okay. Well, DeMarco, what was the best of the NFL? Best of the weekend for you?
Spoiler alert, Andy, you won.
Besides the whole Luka thing that just rocked everybody's world, there were a bunch of things that happened that I love. I'll just start off with saying yeet. Jey Uso won the Royal Rumble. Shocking, eliminated John Cena. No one saw that coming. Unbelievable. Great show.
I thought John Cena retired.
John Cena's back for his retirement tour.
Oh.
Yeah, so he did the Rumble. He was the last two, and no one ever thought that he would be eliminated by Jey Uso, and here we are saying yeet. So that's one. Did you guys see? Oh, Jorge's not here. Damn. Benavidez and Morrell went at it this weekend. David Benavidez, the fighter. Tremendous fight. Excellent fight. Won a fight.
Boxing or MMA?
Boxing. Okay. Won a fight by unanimous decision and got knocked down. That tells you how dominant he was. And Clarissa Shields, I thought you guys would be all over this. She made history. She is the first undisputed female heavyweight champion of all time.
What is, in terms of weight, what is heavyweight for a woman?
That's a great question. I think it's not 200.
Okay.
It's below, but it's heavyweight. So she is the first female undisputed heavyweight champion ever. So history was made this weekend.
Heavyweight is 175.
There you go. Yeah, it's light heavy for men. That's it.
Okay.
Light heavy is 175. 175 is heavy for women.
That is one badass lady right there.
Oh, my God. Yeah, she's the GOAT. So there you go. That's my best.
For me, the best of the weekend, I'll keep it in the NBA, but not going to go Luka. I'm actually going to say the Spurs getting De'Aaron Fox, in part because, A, it's great for the Spurs, but also I think we are seeing a paradigm shift because the idea of a player of De'Aaron Fox's magnitude saying, not only do I want to be traded, my first choice is San Antonio, and I want you to move me there, and signaling that publicly, and that led to him going to the Spurs. Wemby is so damn good, and I've thought this for a while, and now we're finally seeing it. He is so good that players are going to say, I don't care that it's in San Antonio. I want to play with that dude because that dude is going to help me win championship. That dude's going to make my life easier.
Big time.
And in the year 2025 of our Lord, you do not need to be in L.A. or in New York or in Chicago. No, to be seen.
Oh, to be seen.
To
Hell
be
no.
seen.
Hell, you got
Because
a phone?
Exactly.
Right.
It used to be that
you got to be here.
You had to be here or one of these big places. Markets they matter, but not in the same way as before. And I think it's awesome that a guy like Wemby could end up getting a team worthy of his talents because he's amazing.
Never lived in San Antonio. Don't know what it's like to live there, but I've never had a bad time in San Antonio.
I have family. I have some family on my wife's side who live in San Antonio. They love it. They
Heck yeah.
love it.
The beer's cold. The wings are hot. Perfect.
No, it's a pretty cool city from what they tell me. Now is it time to go to our winner? Is it time to go to our winner?
You already announced the winner.
What is the best?
Hey,
NFL
Andy,
weekend?
surprise, you won. What's your best with the weekend?
Hey, guys, I love the show. I had plans this weekend celebrating my 35th birthday, which is tomorrow.
Happy birthday.
But, man, the biggest, thank you. The biggest news and the best gift as a lifelong Laker fan is the fact that we got Luka. I mean, definitely appreciate AD. He came here, got us a championship, did what we asked for him to do. So wish him the best. But the fact that we get Luka, man, we as Laker fans continue to be spoiled. I mean, we got to see Kobe, we got to see Shaq, we got to see Magic. Like, now we get Luka in his prime. There's only two other players that I've ever just enjoyed watching as much as I have Kobe. That's Steph Curry and Luka. And I've never, ever, ever in my life thought that we would see either one of them in a Laker jersey. And now, I mean, we get Luka for the next 10 years. This is amazing. Like, unbelievable.
Congratulations, Andy. You won a 2-night hotel accommodation, dinner for 2, and then golf or bowling for 2, all at Fantasy Springs Resort Casino. And I was saying before, like, the idea of the mercenary versus the homegrown player. And I think that's been something that's been really amplified in the LeBron, LeBron and AD era, but really the LeBron era. And when LeBron first arrived in L.A., there were a lot of Laker fans I heard from who were not wild about this at all, resentful.
I bet they really loved Kobe, those same people.
Yes. And Kobe and LeBron had been pitted against each other.
Kobe.
Right.
Know.
Oh, no.
Not even close.
LeBron's stature within this organization will never even come close to touching Kobe's. And LeBron knows it.
Yeah.
Like, LeBron is aware of that.
If they put a LeBron statue up, put it on the other side of Kobe.
But
like way on the other side of the building.
Well, it's a big building. There's a lot of places. But like, I think some of the resistance though with LeBron, beyond the Kobe v. LeBron of it all, was the idea that it felt like LeBron was bigfooting his way into the organization for reasons that were less about the Lakers and more about LA. And then in the meantime, clutches perceived real bit of both control over the organization.
It's a great name. Clutch.
They had the Lakers in their clutches.
The entire league.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that has, in a lot of ways, led to a certain amount of detachment between Laker fans and LeBron.
It is what it is. Yeah.
With Luka, though, I think it's going to be different because he did not only did he not Bigfoot his way into the organization,
but
he did not even.
But he's still outside in. It's still not homegrown.
Of course.
You're a movie guy, right?
Yeah.
You've seen Gangs of New York?
Yeah.
What is the Brendan Gleeson character? The guy with the notches on the belt. I will only fight for you if you pay me first. I'm on your side,
right?
But I'm not going to do it unless you pay me,
right?
That's how I kind of saw LeBron,
right?
Same thing.
It's a mercenary.
It is what it is. I could care less if you're homegrown or not. I just want to win.
Well, and even when you bring AD into it, and I don't think AD puts out that type of vibe himself. But AD is that extension of Clutch. He felt like he was brought over by Clutch. We are calling the shots. This is the guy we are bringing over who's forcing his way from New Orleans here. You just sit back, Lakers. Oh,
you did him a favor.
Oh, it's a great favor.
Yeah.
But in terms of the perceived control, it's LeBron's franchise now.
LeBron was bouncing around. AD wanted out. Luka never saw this coming.
Right.
That's the difference.
And I think that in a lot of ways will, but at least could make Luka seem less like the interloping, big-footing mercenary than a lot of fans have seen LeBron.
Let's see, I'm trying to think of the biggest Laker villain of all time. Raja Bell is right at the top for me. I couldn't stand him. But anybody in
my favorite. Do you remember when he and Kobe were feuding?
When he clotheslined him,
right?
Oh my God!
Kobe kept referring to Raja Bell as that kid. He's like, "Who is this kid?" I don't know. First of all, Kobe knew exactly who Raja was. They'd played against each other in the finals. Secondly, Raja Bell was older than Kobe.
Yes.
So he was referring to this guy older than him as that kid.
It's so much fun.
Chef's kiss.
Steph is a Laker killer, but I don't think you hate him.
No. Steph's impossible.
That's where I'd put Luka. Luka, I mean, you hate him because you don't have him.
Well, he also never killed the Lakers.
Yeah, but you hate him because you don't have him. Even when you're playing him, you hate him because you don't have him. Yeah. It's not like it's anything he did. So, yeah, Luka's welcome here.
Yeah, but I think his entry is going to feel different than LeBron's entry in ways that I think are going to lead to Laker fans embracing Luka in ways that I think they've maybe appreciated LeBron, but have not embraced LeBron in the same way. In the meantime, the future, LeBron and Luka, what is that going to look like? But first, call in right now, 877-710-ESPN, 877-3776. Callers 7 and 10 get a chance at our Islands Super Squares for the big game. Squares prizing Islands gift cards, $100 for the first quarter, $150 for the second quarter, $100 for the third, $250 for the final score. Islands Restaurants, the place you love for the best burgers, the best fresh cut fries, the best Mai Tais in town. Time to visit your local paradise. Lakers future coming up next, 710 ESPN.
ESPN LA and Beverly Hills Ortho are teaming up because we want to know who's smiling in SoCal. Go to ESPNLA.com and nominate who you think is making LA a better place. Could be a mentor, a teacher, a coach, a good Samaritan, or you could nominate yourself. You could win prizes like sweet tickets, Sonic Care electric toothbrushes, whitening treatment, or the grand prize, Invisalign. Enter now at ESPNLA.com, and remember, you're always smiling at Beverly Hills Ortho.
With the devastating fires.
From premium tickets to exclusive parties to first-class accommodations, their Super Bowl packages are the MVP of the fan experience. Don't sit on the sidelines. Be a part of the action. Go to us.absolute-sport.com. That's ABSOLUT-sport to lock in your spot. Absolute Sport, it's how champions watch the Super Bowl.
Why do we grill to order at Waba Grill? Because it's just better for you. Our Asian-inspired menu has high-quality proteins that are healthier for you. Our steamed vegetables and signature salads are made fresh for you. Our sauces are more flavorful for you. From sweet and spicy to fiery hot. Right now, get our Value Bowl combo for only $8.99. Download the Waba Rewards app or order online at wabagrill.com. Waba Grill, it's for you.
One of LA's best kept secrets in the heart of Los Angeles, East Central Hotel offers effortless accommodations and unparalleled accessibility. The East Central Hotel is for everyone looking for entertainment with their trendy spacious rooms, a renovated gym, and a patio lounge for breakfast, dinner, and drinks. Stop by their incredible Nixo Lounge before your next event at LA Live. Book your stay at eastcentralhotel.com or call 213-748-1291 today at Entertainment's official address.
Steve Mason and John Ireland.
Mason and Ireland. Today I won after Travis and DeMarco.
So I did a yoga retreat. It is clothing optional.
Oh, I don't need to do any naked yoga.
I opted to be close to nature.
Okay.
When I went to like these mineral waters they've got, and then the yoga, and then they grow all the food on the property. It's delicious.
The OGs of LA Sports Radio. That's Mason in Ireland.
On 710 ESPN. 710 ESPN, your home for the 17-time world champion Lakers.
KSPN Los Angeles, a good karma brands radio station.
This is the Travis and DeMarco Show.
Now weekdays 9 a.m. to noon on LA's mega sports station.
710 ESPN.
Just hope they're not cursing because I have no idea what they're saying.
I'm trying to get in this. Hold on. Okay. I'm noticing the same beat through every song, though. I don't know what he's saying.
No idea what he's saying. Thankfully, neither does the FCC, so I think we're okay.
Is this what Luka listens to?
Probably not.
We don't know. I don't think so. That's what I'm saying. He's like, why are you guys playing that?
Look, man,
ask him.
We're all flying blind right now. Nobody had any heads up that Luka Doncic was about to become a Laker. Travis and DeMarco Show. Andy Kennedy in for Travis.
To Kendrick.
He might. He might.
He
but
does.
For the time being, we are doing our best to welcome Luka into town. Luka into town.
Luka, yeah.
Zdravo, Luka.
You
so
know,
we're playing the music we think he likes.
There you go. I was just talking with Berg, stealing some of his copy, Greg Bergman. And we're still trying to figure out why the Dallas Mavericks would do this. It still doesn't make sense. Why you would trade a generational talent, a 25-year-old guy. Well, it doesn't make sense why, right? There must be something wrong. Then we started talking about Supermax for a hot minute. If there's some things he can do health-wise to change his body to make sure he gets the deal, then so be it. But if you don't and you miss the Supermax deal, then that's partially your fault. You're missing money.
Look, there is no question that Luka's conditioning issues have been in Luka's hands.
And it costs you money.
Like, this is a self-created issue. You know, is it as bad as the Mavericks have made it out to be? Are they amplifying it so they can justify to themselves making a move that the entire world thinks is bat bleep crazy?
Yeah.
Sure. That is, I'm sure that they are in their heads making Luka 15 pounds heavier than he actually is. Like, even if he is above his ideal weight, in their minds, he's 15 to 20 pounds higher. Like, he has been injured 10% more than he actually is. Like, you have to sell yourself on this.
But are you one of those guys that if you have a culture, everybody looks to establish a certain culture on a team, workplace, what have you? Now, if you have a generational talent that just doesn't fit your guidelines, do you change your guidelines and compromise, or do you let that guy go?
Well, if you ask Nico Harrison, the answer is the latter.
Jay Kidd and I, we've had a vision in the culture that we want to create since we've been here. And the players that we're bringing in, we believe exemplify that. And, you know, we think defense wins championships. And we're bringing in one of the best two-way players in the league. A lot of people don't talk about, you know, what he does defensively and offensively, but, you know, if you can name first-team All-NBA players that are also first-team All-Defensive players. That's a unique unicorn to try to find.
I hate that. The unicorn thing. It drives me nuts. I don't know why. Anyway, but I mean that's what's the one knock on Luka?
Conditioning and defense.
Right. And he wants to build he thinks defense wins championships. So if you just look in those terms, okay, this makes sense.
It makes sense. I mean, the flip side is you just got to the finals with Luka and lost.
And Luka looked tired.
But maybe get someone defensively to help Luka instead of trading Luka
And
away.
it was also a team that had just been reconfigured at the deadline. They radically transformed themselves at the deadline and still managed to get to the finals.
But that's got nothing to do with, remember how bad Luka looked in the finals. He looked very tired, not a shade.
Well,
and they were highlighting his defensive shortcomings.
Absolutely. I mean, look, when the Lakers in 2008, you know, they traded for Pau Gasol mid-season, and they had been playing, people forget this, they'd been playing very well even before the Pau trade. Then Andrew Bynum got hurt. They started to fall off. They made the trade for Pau Gasol, reignited. You go to the finals, but they lost to the Celtics, and in Game 6, they lost by 39 points. I was in Boston for that. It was an absolute, it wasn't even just that they got their asses kicked. It was emasculating.
It was horrible.
That was one of
the bad guys
narratives,
won. Yeah.
particularly for Pau Gasol and Lamar Odom. This was a manhood challenge that, whether fair or not, the two of them rose to that.
Oh, God.
The two of them said...
Give the Celtics credit. That team was loaded.
Yeah. The two of them said after that, Pau and Lamar in particular, we ain't getting pushed around anymore. Whether we had been or not, it ain't happening again. And that change led to 2 championships for the Lakers in 2009 and 2010.
So you're saying Luka is going to all of a sudden assume a different role, become that guy? I mean, I would love to see it. I just haven't seen it.
At the very least, I would like to think that this leads to Luka taking conditioning seriously, because we're talking about a hyper-competitive guy. I mean, by all accounts, Luka is insanely competitive. He's an alpha. He is a cutthroat on the court.
Mm-hmm.
And he has been considered like the best, most coveted since he was a teenager.
He's the man.
And he just got his ass kicked out the door by a franchise who said, we don't essentially trust you not to eat yourself into problems during your prime.
Right.
This isn't even Luka at 30, 31.
It's man in the mirror time.
Right. This is before. Some people don't even think your prime begins to 26.
Well, you can make them right. You can make them very, very right about you by how you play here, and you can make them very, very wrong about you.
Yes.
By how you play here. Same thing with AD. AD going down there, they're going to hate you. They'll probably boo everything you do until they don't.
I hope that's not the case, man.
I mean,
I hope not.
It's hurt feelings. You know how this goes.
It is.
Yeah.
And I hope.
And he's got nothing to do with it.
Right. I really hope that Anthony Davis does not become the avatar for "you are not Luka. You're the guy that they brought in instead of the guy we wanted." Because you're right.
Yeah.
That's got nothing to do with Anthony Davis.
For a week, a month, what have you, until they start winning, until you start to understand the vision.
Because I mean,
until the fans start to see it, because all they're going to see is the fact that Luka's not down there.
Well, and also too, like Anthony Davis, and it was interesting. I believe it was Sam Amick from The Athletic had a piece about the trade, and it was phrased in a way like the Lakers got the alpha male in DONCIC that they didn't think they had in AD, and AD does not have, by professional athlete standards, an alpha male persona. Like that's not. I mean, in reality, he's an alpha male. Like you don't reach that level.
Oh,
I think you don't reach that level if you're compared to human beings.
I know a lot of dudes, even some playing right now. They're monsters on the field, but if you get them in a crowded room, you lose them.
Right. And
alpha males, you don't lose.
Right. AD is not by superstar standards an alpha male standard, and I think that can lead you to being seen as soft or weak or not that guy by a fan base, even when you're playing your ass off. Like Pau Gasol went through that. Like Pau Gasol was never as appreciated as a Laker by the fan base until he was gone.
I never looked. How many games did Pau actually miss?
Pau did not miss many games at all.
So that's what I mean. I mean, it's not about acting tough, being tough, looking tough, tattoos. It's being there on the floor every night.
That's something AD couldn't give.
That's the
thing. But the last couple seasons, though, he has. I mean, like, AD has not missed many games over the last couple of years.
A year and a half compared to everything else that we'd seen from AD with the Lakers.
Like you said, if Luka starts playing defense, it'll be like the first. But if he does it for a couple of years, maybe I'll start buying it.
So, by the way, Pau Gasol had 3 years where he played every single game, and then he had 5 years in which he played 80 or more games.
So he doesn't have to say a word, talk tough, look tough, pretend to be tough. But just look at how many times I play.
But fans still called him Gasoft. Even after winning championships, there were still fans that I think fully did not appreciate what they had in Pau.
You ever seen Pau get a T?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I mean, what did he do? I was at like every game.
But what did he do?
Complain. Like I did not.
I never saw him in a scrap.
Well, I was going to say.
Yeah.
Well, I saw him a couple times. Like Kenyon Martin, like that era.
That's
that
defend
era
yourself.
That era of Nuggets brought it out of him.
That's
that era
defend
of Denver,
yourself, though. Yeah.
Like there was real animosity between like the mellow Kmart Chauncey Billups.
There was real heat.
Yeah, there was.
Real
they
heat.
did not like each other.
I miss that era so much. I do.
But Pau did not do the stereotypical alpha male stuff in persona. Neither does Anthony Davis.
Except show up and play.
Yeah.
But Anthony Davis, his nickname was
Street Clothes.
Street Clothes. Why? Because he was always hurt.
But the flip side is AD, great as Pau was, and you're not going to meet a bigger fan of Pau Gasol than me.
Yeah.
AD is a better player than Pau.
But really?
Oh, yeah. AD performed at a higher as a two-way player.
Yeah.
AD performed at a higher level than Anthony Davis. He did. He did. And again, I mean,
that's
Pau.
It's a matter of that's your opinion, but I mean, I might beg to differ.
Okay.
But I'll just say, some people talk tough. I mean, just look at my games played. That's how I measure toughness.
Yeah.
Not by what you say, it's by what you do.
I get it.
So if he wants to, if Luka, not if he wants to come here, he's already here. I hope that Luka proves the Mavericks wrong, but remains to be seen. Because this doesn't happen.
Look,
either they're stupid or they know something we don't.
Well, Charles Barkley raised that question.
Let me tell you something. The only people know Luka Doncic is the Dallas Mavericks. Guys who've been with him for years or who are around him every day. He's a great player. He's a great player. But all us talking heads, they must know something we don't know. Because, listen, he's been hurt. Everybody complains about his conditioning. But once you give a guy 5 years, $350 million, y'all are stuck together for life.
Well, okay, that from Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
That from Charles Barkley summarizes very neatly why Dallas decided we are getting out of the Luka business as great as he is.
Wouldn't that be
5
a red
years,
flag?
$350 million.
Yes. Wouldn't that be a red flag for you?
Could be. I mean, is it a red flag that would have prevented me from taking Luka? Hell no.
Why are you?
Is it a red flag though? Like,
well,
is there a red flag?
Why are you selling me this Ferrari for under market value? It's not because I'm a nice guy. It's not because you like me.
No.
What don't I know about this car?
There's an engine problem.
Yeah. I guess I'm going to find out the minute I go over 100 miles an hour.
This particular Ferrari ends up in the shop a little more than you would expect.
Right.
Like, you expect a Ferrari to be a little bit lighter around the curves.
It looks great.
Yeah.
I mean, does it?
But let me tell you.
Yeah.
When the Ferrari is out in the open road and everything's going well.
Yeah.
You're going to love this Ferrari.
Have we heard from the only voice that matters at this point? Have we heard from LeBron yet? Has he said anything?
Let's talk about LeBron's reaction coming up next, 710 ESPN.
You get what you deserve. Don't let your insurance company underpay you. Don't let them pressure you into subpar repairs. Trusted by lawyers, contractors, and real estate pros, we offer a free consultation and expert damage assessments. Call 818-917-5256 or visit avnergat.com. Avner Gat, your claim, our game.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. Did you know that 1 in 4 people seeking treatment for ED are under 40? So you're not alone. And even better, HIMS can help. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/joy. It all starts with an online intake form. From there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. Through HIMS.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Millions of men experience ED, but HIMS can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
And yes, welcome to the Travis and DeMarco Show. Now mornings, 9 a.m. to noon on 710 ESPN. Your destination for LA sports. Let's get back to the fellas. The Travis and DeMarco Show continues right now.
I just got this on Twitter. Apparently, Luka had bought a $15 million house in Dallas last week and, quote, reportedly cried when he found out the Mavericks had traded.
Oh, for sale. Hey, you know what? He should sell it for 10. There you go, because he likes the guy. There you go. Under market value. There you go.
And see if you can get like a car in exchange as well.
Throw in Max Christie. There you go.
Well, then that starts getting into a weird area of human trafficking.
I'm just saying, throw it in there. Yeah,
Andy Kamenetsky in for Travis and DeMarco, 710 ESPN. Maybe Anthony Davis is interested in buying a home.
I think he's going to ball. I really do. I think AD is going to ball down there.
I hope he does. And look, LeBron wished Anthony Davis the best on his way out. Posted on Instagram, love you, dog. Go crazy over there. I believe it's Bill Ryder. There was a clip of him talking about how there had been friction between LeBron and Anthony Davis, and LeBron retweeted that with "you effing lie."
To Bill Ryder, saying that he's not telling the truth.
I have never look.
How would you know that if there's friction between the two?
I mean, Bill. The way I would guess Bill Ryder would know, and this is purely a guess.
Like you're in the locker room and
Bill used to cover, I don't know where Bill's located now, but he used to cover LA sports for a while because there was a period when I was covering the Lakers, Bill would be around.
Yeah.
Bill also covered the Miami Heat Lakers. So you build up sources with, touch points for LeBron's career in general. And that would be in theory where you've heard this. I will say, as much as, look, superstars Kobe used to sometimes have frustration that Powell would not do X or whatever. Like, this is normal. If you're asking me, has there ever been a time where LeBron has wished Anthony Davis would do more of X? I'm sure the answer is yes. In the same way, I'm sure
they're teammates.
Right.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis, I'm sure at times has wished LeBron would do more of X.
Like, shut up or stop turning the ball over.
But I have never gotten any indication through what I've heard, through body language, through whatever, that those two were not anything other than pretty damn tight.
You got to have some stones to put that out there. There's friction between two guys.
Right.
I mean, how would you know? Are you around them 24/7? Are you in their brains? How do you know that? Just because we argue?
I guess you hear things and you decide to put it out.
Oh,
but
okay. Well, good for him.
LeBron, in the meantime, though, like once Anthony Davis is moved, it starts raising questions of what does this mean for LeBron? Before the trade deadline, for the Lakers, however long he's going to be playing there. Is he going to be playing there? Per ESPN, LeBron has confirmed, a source familiar with LeBron has confirmed that he intends to, at minimum, stay with the Lakers through the deadline, like he's not going to ask to be moved.
And he has a no-trade clause, right?
Right. He has a no-trade clause, so he would have to ask to be moved. And the Lakers would never move somebody of LeBron's stature unless
But over the weekend, there was hey, should we trade LeBron, Warriors? But that is...
The Lakers...
That would be cool.
The Lakers, I think, by necessity, blindsided AD. With all sincere respect to Anthony Davis, he's not LeBron. Even if LeBron didn't have a no-trade clause, the Lakers would never blindside a player of LeBron's stature.
You'd lose.
They just won't do that.
It's their ethos. They
right.
protect the stars. They do right by the stars.
Yes, the truest of superstars.
Hold on. They just did. Because how long have Pelinka and, not Nico Collins,
Nico
Harrison and Rob Pelinka.
I love that this is going to trip you up for the next.
I'm just going to have to keep saying, I'm working myself through this. When I say Chargers, I have to slow down. When I say Nico, I have to slow down to make sure I get the right one. Sorry, it all runs together. But they have been talking for how long?
About a month, it sounds like.
About a month. So Rob Pelinka has been AD's GM for a month.
Yeah.
I love you. You're my guy. Congratulations.
You're my partner.
You're my partner. All the while, I'm trying to trade you to Dallas. I'm going to trade you to Dallas. So.
Yes. But again, with all sincere respect to Anthony Davis, he ain't LeBron.
Everything is on the table now. Well, I would equate, can't you equate Luka to LeBron in Dallas? They just shook
But they're
pulled
not
the
the
rug.
Lakers. Right. I didn't say it could never happen to a star.
They're the Lakers, meaning what?
The Lakers are a team that prides themselves on taking care of stars and doing right by,
Like
again,
the most
super mega duper
of stars.
That's not the same thing for
They
Dallas.
just sent AD to Dallas.
Respectfully to Anthony Davis, he's not at that level.
But then he's in the
he's
conversation.
adjacent. He's adjacent. He lives in a nice neighborhood.
And
of
how many
superstardom.
people are in that LeBron stratosphere anyway? One, maybe two. So,
When you look at the totality of LeBron's career, you're talking about guys like Kareem, Jordan,
rarefied
Kobe,
air.
Magic.
Shaq got sent to Miami.
Shaq wanted to be traded.
But true, very true. But he got traded.
Yes.
It does happen. So now that Luka was shaken loose out of Dallas, I think anything is possible with anybody, especially since you got Luka now.
Well, things look more possible, but I don't think the Lakers would ever. They would never blindside. Let me put it this way: they're not going to blindside LeBron by trading him somewhere he doesn't want to go.
Oh, absolutely not.
That's what I'm talking about.
He's going to be on.
They would never blindside LeBron like that. Now, were they willing to keep LeBron out of the loop with this Luka thing? Yeah, I do believe that's possible. I think it's what happened, but that's by necessity because you can't take any chance of this thing getting scuttled.
This is all clutch sports, right? Sort of,
for
kind
Luka?
of. No, for AD.
AD is a clutch client, correct?
How would LeBron not know this?
Because Clutch apparently by
Or
multiple
Clutch didn't know.
Yes, according to multiple reports, Clutch was not in the loop about this until roughly the time everybody became in the loop.
Oh my God! Okay,
like this was like ironclad tight.
Usurping Clutch.
The people that knew about this were Nico Harrison, Rob Pelinka, and I'm assuming
Pac Bell.
Miriam Adelson and the ownership group in Dallas, and Jeannie Buss is at least in the loop that these conversations have taken place.
Interesting. Wow.
I imagine I just listed everybody that knew.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
It's very clear Nico Harrison went out of his way to, above even prioritizing the haul that you get for Luka, he wanted to do this clean and quick. The more people know about this, the less possible that becomes. If, say, for example, LeBron hates the idea of this. I'm not saying he should.
If
but let's
he
just
caught
say,
wind.
If he catches wind of it, doesn't like it, prefers AD over Luka for whatever reason, then that gets out. And then the way Dallas wants to do this gets scuttled. That's why you give LeBron some plausible deniability that he wasn't involved with trading one of his guys.
Just playing the playground game for a hot minute.
Mm-hmm.
First, you beat the reach of clutch sports, which I didn't think was possible in that sport, really. So if it gets back to AD, I think that's where problems start. If LeBron finds out, AD finds out, now you got issues.
Yes.
Yeah, now you've got no team.
That's why it's locked down.
Unbelievable. Wow. Good for them for keeping it quiet. I didn't think that was possible in today's sports.
Here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
I will give this to Rob Pelinka, and I have said this before. Like, I have questions still about Rob Pelinka in terms of his ability to build a complete roster, like from kind of start to finish, because he inherited some of the pieces of that 2020 championship team, and he was not really involved with the process of getting LeBron. And while he was the guy that traded for AD, there was a lot of that being thrust upon him. And since then, I think his decisions beyond the stars, other than Russell Westbrook, which was a disaster, obviously, like
for different reasons, though.
Yeah, but it's been a mixed bag.
Yeah.
But the one thing, though, that we've seen consistently with Rob and that we've heard about Rob, if part of making something happens means keeping your mouth shut, he's really good at it. This is also, too, where
good for him.
Rob reportedly, I've heard this from many people, not terribly popular among his peers around the league in terms of GMs, basketball ops guys.
That just changed. You got Luka for AD in a first rounder.
Well, if you want to keep things quiet, it may help that fewer people actually talk to you.
True. Do your time like a man, right? Don't you rat on anybody. I like it. That's what I'm
Two
talking
most
about.
important things in life.
No doubt.
Never rat on your friends. Keep your mouth shut.
This whole AD versus Powell thing has taken on a life of its own. Like, my phone is going nuts.
Really?
Yeah. Some people think I'm crazy. Some people think I'm dead on. I don't know. I mean, I never thought to compare the two until today. I think Powell's a great player. I think AD's a great player.
February 1st was the anniversary of when the Lakers acquired Powell
Dude,
as well.
Okay.
February 1st, like that should become a minimum. Well, no, it's an international. The Lakers are an international brand. That should be a Lakers holiday now. February 1st
a lot of
is
stuff.
a Pau Gasol, Luka Doncic. We own 2-1.
I think it has to. We'll figure out what happens with Luka and the Lakers before we maybe anoint this as a holiday. It does remind me, too, there's, again, it's going around on Twitter at the time, but it's like, if it was David Stern as the commissioner of the NBA when this happened, would he have approved this trade, the Lakers getting Luka Doncic? Would he have denied it like the Chris Paul trade?
No, he would not have denied it. The reason is, like you're getting Anthony Davis, you're getting a pick, whatever, but also
seems fair.
This is the most important part of it. David Stern, basketball in New Orleans was his baby. For whatever reason, like this was his cause du jour. He wanted to make the NBA in New Orleans a thing and work.
His esplanade.
And in his mind, moving Chris Paul not just out of New Orleans, period, which he wouldn't want to do, but to the Lakers on the heels of a lockout that was supposedly all about preventing big market teams from being able to steal whoever they wanted. Forget the fact that the solution, finger quotes, was moving Chris Paul to L.A., just the other L.A. team.
Right.
Like, Chris Paul went to a big market anyway, went to a really good situation anyway.
But.
Right. David Stern, I think, would have allowed this deal to happen. There is, I think he overstepped then. But now there's no reason for him to overstep it.
I think he overstepped because he was doing what was best for business.
I mean, put it this way.
Yeah.
If he was going to overstep a deal.
NBA business.
Right.
Yeah. Because you can't let the market collapse.
He also, too, there's an ego thing involved. Like, you just finished this lockout, and that was, again, all about preventing big market teams from big-footing the rest of the league. And within, 48 hours of the lockout ending, the first thing that happens is, Chris Paul is going to the Lakers in a deal where the Lakers save money in the process.
Right. Nope, not happening.
And it was very clear, Dwight Howard will be joining soon. Like, David Stern was like, hell no. And Dan Gilbert, his letter.
In some level of the multiverse, that team exists, and they're still winning. Some level,
dude,
that team exists
over in the bullpen.
And they're still winning.
Over the bullpen. This is when I was writing for ESPNLA.com. I had just written this 2,000-word piece all about the impending Kobe Chris Paul team up, what it was going to mean for the Lakers. Dwight's likely around the corner, yada yada yada, all excited, and then I hear, deal's not happening. We need you to write a new 2,000
Damn
words.
you, David Stern.
I'm so effing mad.
Do you still have it?
I could probably.
That'd be fun to read.
I can find the piece that I wrote that you can tell I'm mad when I wrote.
Yeah.
It's basically like F off David Stern.
Oh, really? Okay.
I wrote a big piece about how David Stern absolutely overstepped his boundaries. What the hell does this do to the Lakers? I was mad.
The other one with Chris Paul, that's like in a third world country, like where they send the loser of the
on
Super Bowl.
Earth, too. Kobe and Chris Paul combined for at least 2 championships.
Oh, my God.
It goes there with your Locked On Lakers of Saturday night's game.
Yes, it's lost to the ether.
Lost in oblivion.
Oh, man. All right, coming up next, Fact or Cap. Travis and DeMarco, Andy in for Travis, 710 ESPN.
Hey, let me tell you about the law offices of Joseph S. Normand and his all-star team. In an accident, they're going to treat you like family, La Familia. Let me help you get the medical attention and maximum compensation you deserve. And that's in caps, maximum. Accidents are devastating, and the recovery process can be difficult to deal with. No one should have to face this alone. Remember this, no insurance company is ever on your side, end of story. Anything you say to any insurance company can and will be used against you at any point throughout the process. So remember that. If a pallet falls on your head, something happens, a slip and fall, accident on the freeway, make sure you have a good team. Call this number right now. You have many choices in the legal team, but you need an all-star team behind you. Call 213-747-2000 or visit normandlegal.com. Again, 213-747, like the plane, 2000. Make sure to tell them Travis and DeMarco at ESPN sent you.
Steve Mason and John Ireland.
Mason in Ireland today at 1 after Travis and DeMarco.
There is National Rubber Ducky Day.
Hey guys, it's Mina Kimes, host of the Mina Kimes Show featuring Lenny, here to tell you about a live podcast taping I am doing in Los Angeles Monday, February 3rd, right before the Super Bowl. I am joined by Greg Rosenthal, Jordan Rodriguez, Chris Ryan, Andy Greenwald, and the Rams' own Kobe Turner. 100% of your ticket proceeds go to wildfire relief here in Los Angeles. Check it out, minapodlive.com.
The Marco Show. Each weekday around 10:30, producer Emily serves up what's going down, and fun and frivolity ensues. Special thanks to the law offices of Joseph S. Normand for making Factor Cap possible.
It's Joseph S. Normand. It's Factor Cap on the Travis and DeMarco Show on 710 ESPN. And if you've been hurt in an accident, let me help you. Call my office at 213-747-2000. That's 213-747-2000.
Let's do it. Factor Cap right now.
Take it away, producer Emily.
Welcome to Factor Cap.
Thanks, Joe. Hi, guys.
Zdravo.
Annyeong.
Hi.
Komatsumida.
Hola. Aloha. Okay, so like all of you guys, I was just stunned on Saturday night to find out that Luka Doncic is going to be a Maverick soon. And it made me think about this quote from Mark Cuban. So Mark Cuban, when he was the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, he said that if it came down to Luka or his wife, he would have to go to a divorce lawyer in the morning. He wanted Luka above anything else. So my statement is, I know he's not an owner anymore, but you would want to be a fly on the wall with Mark Cuban right now. Andy, Factor Cap.
I don't think fact is strong enough. I have been wondering, depending how long this has been a very quiet internal conversation within the Mavericks, this clearly is not something that is born out of nowhere. It's been a known thing that Luka's conditioning has been something of tension within the organization.
Yeah.
I'm now wondering if Mark Cuban had been the guy saying, look, yeah, this is a thing we're going to have to monitor. It's going to be a pain in the ass. He's that good. What are we doing, people?
No doubt.
And if it started to feel like the organization was moving more towards, we should get rid of Luka, we should move Luka, did that play a role in Mark Cuban selling his majority share of the organization? Like, this was the time when he said, I want to get out.
Back then?
No, I'm wondering.
Oh, okay.
I'm wondering.
All right, DeMarco, you would want to be a fly on the wall with Mark Cuban.
We're talking about Mark Cuban, the Mark Cuban, right? The same guy that's on TV, the same guy that's not afraid of telling you how he feels.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go Cap. I don't want to be a fly on the wall. I'll just wait.
He'll say it.
It's coming anyway. You know he's about to come out blasting at some point. Oh, my God.
I never looked at it that way, but you're probably right. Factor Cap is honestly the same answer.
Right.
True. Laura, what do you think?
100% fact, because, I mean, yes, DeMarco's right. He's going to come out and say it. But I want it before he comes out and say it. I want it unfiltered. Let's go. I want to be there.
All right, so last night here at LA Live was a pretty busy night. It was the Grammys, and one of the biggest winners of the night was Kendrick Lamar. He won everything he was able to win for the song Not Like Us. It was multiple Grammys for the same song, including Record of the Year and Song of the Year. And as we all know, it is a diss track in relation to Drake.
Who?
And if someone wrote a diss track about you that won every Grammy it was able to buy, or not to buy, to get, you would go into hiding. DeMarco, Factor Cap.
Oh, Cap. I'd be out in front. I'd be blasting the song. Are you kidding me?
Someone calling you what he calls him?
The song about me just won a Grammy. I could care less what you say. The song about me.
Even with the particular accusations within the song.
You're missing the point. The song about me just won a Grammy. I'd be playing it too. Okay. I'll go back to what Eazy-E said. This, God rest his soul. When he pulled up in L.A., or wherever he pulled up, and there's 1,000 people outside burning NWA records. Mm-hmm. He was like, well, how do you feel about that? I can care less. They already bought them.
Right.
That's good. Andy.
With this particular context, I'd be in hiding. Like,
where all of your peers are singing A minor as the guy comes up on stage.
I got to be honest. There is a part, and I've never been a Drake fan. What I've heard of his music, I've never liked. I have found
he's good.
His just doesn't appeal to me, and I found his persona kind of cloying, kind of annoying. He's a tryhard. I've genuinely been worried about him. Like, I've been kind of worried about Drake's well-being. Like, I actually thought about I thought about this last night when all the Grammys, because I saw that, I was like, enough. Like, I was kind of glad
Kendrick was wearing a Canadian tuxedo.
I was glad that the Grammy.
That's next level.
This is basically the last cycle of awarding Kendrick. Fully deserved. I like Kendrick, but
no, GNX is going to be able to be an album of the year next year.
Oh yeah. No. Wait, is Not Like Us on GNX?
Yes.
Oh, I'm worried about Drake. I'm actually worried about it.
He'll be fine.
Laura, what do you think?
I mean, fact, he's been in hiding, so
Yep.
he's already he already started that. He tried to come back, but everyone's like, nah, bro, just stay away.
Bruh, staying away and hiding is one thing. Are you coming back with something else? That's what I'm looking for.
Can you come back from this?
I beg of you, Drake.
Yes.
I beg of you, Drake.
Okay.
Don't do it.
He already tried.
Don't.
That's what I'm saying. He tried and failed.
How old are you? No. Okay.
It's okay. I'm 30. I'm 35.
I'm trying to remember. Because
oh my God, 36.
It was the whole Cube NWA
right.
Dr. Dre thing, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And when you thought the guy was gone, he'd come back with something else.
When I first heard No Vaseline, I was like,
what
oh
I'm saying.
my.
Yes.
I didn't know you were allowed to say that.
That's what I'm saying.
I didn't know you could do that.
Starting from NWA's second
Right.
album, when they went after Dr. Dre, he came back hitting hard. So did Cube. Oh yeah. So let's see what Drake has in response.
It just hasn't felt like a back and forth. It's felt like
a one-sided
Kendrick Lamar.
beating.
It's felt like Kendrick Lamar kicking a corpse.
Yeah. And, well, that was what Drake's lawsuit against his own record label was about, is that they unfairly promoted that.
Yeah, once you've reached the lawsuit, go into hiding. Because that's just weak ass.
He's apparently doing karaoke this past weekend, so there's that. So I met up with a friend yesterday and, caught up, got some lunch and stuff. It was nice. But this particular friend is somebody who is perennially 30 minutes late. Like, whenever happens, she's always 30 minutes late or more. So you have a friend where you have to, I've considered this, lie to them about the time you're supposed to be meeting.
Yeah.
So if the reservation's for 11:30, you tell them it's 11, and they'll be there at 11:30. So, Laura, you have a friend, you have to lie to them about the time. Patrick Cap.
Fact, I am also that friend. So not only do I have friends like that, but I am that friend. You tell me 11, that means you really want me there at 11:30.
Do you know that? And you just
now because especially when I was like younger, I would be like a few minutes late. Now I'm like, yeah, whatever. Because we're all always late. Like I'll get there on time and they're late. So
Andy,
I used to be that guy. Like in high school and college, early 20s, I was perpetually very late to everything. Like when I was in a band in high school, we used to eventually have practices at my house. Because it was the only way to guarantee I'd be there on time. But, like, I remember my friends used to be like, okay, we're meeting up at 7:30 real people time, not Andy time. Like, real people, real clock. Or they would do the thing where they would tell me we're meeting at 7 when in reality the meeting time was 8 in the hopes that I'd be there by 8:30. Like, I would...
Why?
I just ran late a lot. I just, honestly, spacing out. I really just, it was not paying attention.
And that's funny, even pre-phone, because phone is really where it gets to spacing out.
I never wore a watch. That's the other thing. I never wore a watch anywhere.
You went by the sun?
Rodman was like that. Rodman had no idea what time it was at any part of the day. He never wore a watch.
What day it was.
He could care about time.
Right.
He's just a different cat. That makes
DeMarco,
sense.
do you have a friend that you have to lie to them about the time?
I'm trying to think.
It's him.
Huh?
It's you.
What?
You're the friend they gotta lie to.
No. No.
I'm not that way anymore, but I used to be.
No. Nah. I don't think I do.
Okay, that's good. At least you have friends that are on time.
I don't think I do. Let me think. If I told them, I wouldn't trip though. If we're having dinner, bars, whatever, and 8 o'clock, and you show up at 9, I wouldn't trip. We're just hanging out. I don't know.
Yeah, they gave me a Prosecco for waiting at the table for so long. I was like, thank you. It's nice. All right, DeMarco, what is Factor Cap brought to us by?
Oh, right. You have many choices in a legal team, but family always comes first. Call 213-747-2000, the law offices of Joseph F. Normand, 213-747-213-747, or normandlegal.com. Oh, by the way, I found something. Are you ready? Hold on a second. This is crazy. Oh, God, I just lost it. Dang it. It was your article. I was going to read it to you. You remember? Yeah.
You found the piece that I wrote?
It was Michael, Radio Michael. Yeah, it's well written. I love this.
Thank you.
This is your soliloquy on...
What's the title?
It's my phone just stopped. Thoughts and misgivings
about...
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Thoughts and misgivings about the Chris Paul deal. Yes.
Yeah.
Finally, at long last, the Chris Paul circus has mercifully packed its league-owned bags and left town.
Thank you.
How long did that take?
I don't remember. Well, no, honestly, not that long because I was so mad I was in the zone.
This is my favorite one. After much hullabaloo, use hullabaloo? Who uses hullabaloo in a sentence?
Yeah, that piece, one of the things I talked about was I actually felt like the league did Chris Paul dirty.
Yeah,
because even though he ended up in a good place with the Clippers and, that Lob City was a nice run, Chris Paul in a lot of ways got vilified, I think, and treated like a piece of meat by the league, like a bargaining chip. And all Chris Paul had ever done was the right things in New Orleans. He was a model citizen on and off the court in the community, still does great things in New Orleans.
Yes.
He didn't blindside the Pelicans or then Hornets by all of a sudden demanding loudly a trade. He gave them a heads up so they could try to get fair value for him.
Yeah.
He didn't give them, like a demands list publicly like the way Melo did, forcing his way to New York. He didn't turn it into like LeBron and the eventual meeting, the eventual moving to Miami. Like, he did this in a way that I thought was very fair to the league, very considerate of the Hornets. And I think the league kind of villainized him for basically wanting control of his own situation, or some control of his situation. And I'm like, if you're Chris Paul, the way you've been in the league thus far, you deserve better than that.
Yeah, that's hullabaloo.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a lot of hullabaloo.
It
right
was
there.
a lot
Yes.
of hullabaloo.
That's a lot of hullabaloo right there. What you just said.
Well, some would say that Luka now, as a Laker, that's a big-ass hullabaloo. What does it mean for the rest of the league? We'll get into that coming up next. But first, call in right now, 877-710-ESPN, 877-377-6. Caller 7 and 10 get an Islands Super Square for the big game winners. You get gift cards to Islands, $100 for the first quarter if you get it right, $150 for the second, $100 for the third, $250 for the final score. Now that's a hullabaloo. Who's got the coldest beer in town? And of course, Island restaurants with the frosty mugs of beer paired with the best burgers and fries. It's time to visit paradise. What does Luka with the Lakers mean for the rest of the league? A hullabaloo. That's next. Travis and DeMarco, 710 ES.
Hi, my name is Victoria. I am from Silmar, California, and I just want to say thank you to all the firefighters for everything that you've done. You are so brave, so just amazing and brave, and we appreciate everything you've done for the city.
You know, I want to thank them. You know, without them, the fire wouldn't be the way it is right now. You know, little help like you guys asked for. You know, I got a few bobbleheads, a few jerseys, a few shirts that are brand new, and some baseball cards.
Thank you so much for the first responders and for the firefighters that are helping the community and the people of California, and especially Los Angeles. And thank you so much for your work, and keep doing what you're doing. You guys are the real heroes.
My name's Alfredo Famath, and I'm from Silmar, right next to the Hearst fire. We got evacuated, but I really want to thank the firefighters for saving my house and my friends' houses. You know, I appreciate you guys, and without you guys, I don't know where to be at, you know, probably without a home, but I really appreciate everything you guys do for us.
What's up, everybody? Cappy here, InsideCrypto.com, and I just want to take a second to thank all the first responders, the firefighters, but I'm going to take another direction here. I was talking about it on the air. Our friends at Lazy Dog and LA Live have been feeding all these firefighters. I'm going to send a shout out to all the wait staff who are feeding the firefighters, who can then feel good, be nourished, go to sleep, and then get out there and fight those fires. So to everybody that's helping, appreciate all y'all.
Hey, Henry Ramos here from El Monte. Hey, first responders, thank you for everything you guys are doing, and keep fighting on. And this is for Los Angeles. Thank you guys, and keep going. We love you, LA.
Hey guys, it's Mina Kimes, host of the Mina Kimes Show featuring Lenny, here to tell you about a live podcast taping I am doing in Los Angeles Monday, February 3rd, right before the Super Bowl. I am joined by Greg Rosenthal, Jordan Rodriguez, Chris Ryan, Andy Greenwald, and the Rams' own Kobe Turner. 100% of your ticket proceeds go to wildfire relief here in Los Angeles. Check it out, minapodlive.com.
The biggest show on the radio.
Mason and Ireland, weekdays at noon.
We got Sasha Vujacic here.
Welcome, Sash. Great. One of my favorite Lakers of all time, right here.
Thank you.
You even knew the anniversary of Kobe's 81-point game, a game which you played in. I jokingly say, between you and Kobe, 84 points together in that game.
I know. He had jokes back then. You know, it's okay. It's okay. But
what do you remember about that game?
It was actually first quarter we were losing, and the game was tough. And then Kobe just switched like nobody else can do like Kobe did. He was hot, and everybody saw that. And Laker fans loved it. I think the whole basketball nation across the globe learned something that day. But he missed that last assist that I gave him to score 84. So that kind of, left a sour taste. But anyhow, it's a special day, and I'm happy that everybody's still remembering the greatest.
Steve Mason and John Ireland, today at noon.
Mason and Ireland on 710 ESPN. This is the Travis and DeMarco Show.
Now weekdays 9 a.m. to noon on LA's mega sports station.
710 ESPN.
You almost had me there. I thought this was something I knew. Yeah, hey.
Just saw a great comment in the Travis and DeMarco YouTube page.
Saw it, Ricky Martin. Yeah.
In the chat from Aunt Esther. I hope Luka isn't one of those weirdos that doesn't like carne asada.
Wow.
Because he is now.
He doesn't look like a guy that turns down carne asada.
No. Yeah. Aunt Esther, I think he's fine.
I think so.
I got a feeling that if you offer Luka carne asada, the problem isn't that he's going to say no. The problem is he's going to say yes too many times.
A big time. Look, whatever issues. I mean, maybe that changes here.
Steve Mason just responded, Aunt Esther, he likes all food.
All of it, yeah. Maybe like you said, the specter of not so much leaving Dallas, leaving that franchise, coming to L.A. Maybe the fact that you missed out on a Supermax deal. You missed out on money because you couldn't get your butt up in the offseason and work out.
9 figures
That's
worth
what I'm saying.
of money.
That would wake me up a little bit. So, I mean, if you get Luka, that's one thing. If you get a motivated Luka, come on. I mean, things are looking up.
He's already known as one of the most sickly competitive dudes in the league. Like, I was talking with Nick Angstadt, the host of Locked On Mavs, who, by the way, I should let people know, Lakers talk happening tonight, 6 to 8 p.m. Obviously, great. Lot going on to continue this conversation. There will be a YouTube component, and Nick Angstadt from Locked On Mavs is going to be joining at 6:15, but also we're going to have Jovan Buha at 7 and Law Murray at 6:30.
All right.
But one of the things he mentioned is Luka is one of those guys who carries a list, like his grudge list. He adds to it often. He adds to it easily.
Okay, so that's competition as a basketball player. Is he on his own list?
What do you mean?
Like, the competition is not another player. The competition is you. If you were in better shape, took your conditioning more seriously, Dallas would have opened the door for you to cajillions of dollars. This whole trade doesn't happen.
This is the $100 million plus question with Luka. Like, is this the thing that will motivate him to say, from now on, I got to do blank differently. I got to do the conditioning differently.
How do you learn? How do you learn, Andy?
Me?
I mean, if I would definitely change my behavior, change my ways, or take a good look at what I'm doing if I missed out on that much money.
There's only been a few times in my life, I think, that I can really think about, like, that mistake cost me. Like, if not financially, like, it cost me in ways that mattered to me. And I'd like to think that moving forward, I try to do better with those things.
This is his second marriage.
I mean, this is his second marriage. And look, this is what makes it complicated. This is what makes it complicated. Luka lost out on $100 million plus. There's an element of public humiliation with this.
All the equity you built up in Dallas is now gone.
But he's going to be rich as hell regardless.
Oh, he's going to get paid.
Right.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's what can make, like, if you're thinking about this in terms of, like, you know, they hitting rock bottom with somebody with a substance abuse problem. Rock bottom isn't there for Luka because the consolation prize, finger quotes, is like $250 million.
Yeah.
Like, you hate losing $100 million. Like, he's not going to forget about that. But he ain't hit rock bottom.
So
this has
name?
to. So to
that
your
was
question,
that's a different deal.
To your question, this has to still come from himself.
Of course, I don't think any. Well, hopefully the situation will bring it out of him. Maybe he doesn't change, and that will be just fine. Find a way to win with Luka. It is possible. They were just in the finals. I don't care. I hope he finds that second gear. I hope he uses this as motivation.
So do I.
Will he? I don't know.
I want to see the version of Luka Doncic
but
with his revenge body, who is looking like wanting to make sure he is making a show that his ex sees 82 games a year and hopefully 16 victories in the playoffs a year.
We'll see.
But he is posting on Instagram and making sure that his ex sees these photos where he's looking fire. That's what you want.
Or his ex could be laughing at the new beau, like, aha!
Yep.
I'm so glad I got out of that.
Yeah, you thought you got me, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it's nice waking up with Luka now.
Right.
Give this another 6 months.
Let's see what he cheats on you.
Look at the Clippers Thunder trade. You know, one of the things that everyone would have done, but the Thunder get SGA, which took a little bit more time to develop, and the Clippers haven't won a championship with Paul George. Doesn't mean anyone truly lost in that deal, but SGA is doing great things.
The Clippers.
I don't know if a championship is in either one of these deals.
The Clippers lost. Here's the thing. The Clippers, I don't fault them for making that deal because I think every team around the league would have made that deal because it wasn't just a deal for Paul George. It was a deal to get you Kawhi and Paul George. So I don't fault the Clippers for doing that. They lost the deal because they never even made it to the finals during this period. They ended up, they're maybe better off long-term now without Paul George, but you didn't keep Paul George as long as you wanted. And SGA has turned into a player that, at minimum, is as great as Paul George.
I mean, I know the context will be different, but let's hope that in 10 years they're not saying the same thing about this trade, which is every team would have done this trade. Every team would do this trade for Luka, but it didn't work out. So let's hope in 10 years it's not what they're saying about this.
I've seen guys make a stand on principle, right, and lose money. The guy that comes to mind is Le'Veon Bell. He had that big holdout. It sucked, and he took a lesser deal and kept playing. So he stood on principle, cost him money. This might be a little bit different. What cost you money is you. Not your principle.
Oh, this was not a principle.
Right.
Luka wasn't standing up for all the overweight athletes around the world. This was not a principled stand. This was, I don't value conditioning, and I'm still pretty damn good. Everybody get off my ass.
Yeah. That's the reason you would let him go in Dallas. I think I might be a little more relaxed with a guy of his talent if I'm in Dallas and try to win with him and manage it. But
you and basically every GM in the league not named Nico or Harrison.
But what if his shortcomings are the reasons you can't get over the hump with him? You can only get so far with 80% of Luka.
Well, that is clearly what Nico Harrison and ownership with Dallas thought. Like, you combine the conditioning issues with the defensive issues with Luka. If we're being honest, if you think LeBron, for example, complains to the refs a lot and sometimes doesn't get back on defense, you ain't seen nothing until you watch Luka.
You're gonna have two guys doing
Luka makes LeBron look like somebody who's never even raised. Hey, you missed that call. Would you mind being a little more careful, a little more observant on the next trip down? Like, Luka complains constantly to the refs. Luka chirps constantly. I asked Nick Angstadt from Locked On Mavs, do you get a sense that internally the Mavericks have ever had like a direct confrontation about this with Luka, like with conditioning? Like, did they exhaust all their resources trying to salvage this? And Nick was like, I don't know. I certainly hope they did.
Yeah.
I certainly hope that they can look in the mirror and feel like, you know what? We tried, man. We tried to get through to Luka, and he wasn't listening. Because if they didn't, frankly, that's a mistake.
There's something more to that whole Michael Finley snatching the beer out of his hand thing than we know.
Maybe.
There's more to it than that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
All right. How does the rest of the league feel about Luka Doncic with the Lakers for this season, for, say, the next 10 years? Talk about that coming up next. Travis and DeMarco, 710 ESPN.
Hey guys, it's Mina Kimes, host of the Mina Kimes Show featuring Lenny, here to tell you about a live podcast taping I am doing in Los Angeles Monday, February 3rd, right before the Super Bowl. I am joined by Greg Rosenthal, Jordan Rodriguez, Chris Ryan, Andy Greenwald, and the Rams' own Kobe Turner. 100% of your ticket proceeds go to wildfire relief here in Los Angeles. Check it out, minapodlive.com.
Or, Monica, as I like to say, BeverlyHillsOrtho.com.
Hey, it's DeMarco. I know a thing or two about Super Bowls. I've been there, won that. If you want to experience the big game like a pro, Absolute Sport has you covered. From premium tickets to exclusive parties to first-class accommodations, their Super Bowl packages are the MVP of the fan experience. Don't sit on the sidelines. Be a part of the action. Go to us.absolute-sport.com. That's ABSOLUT-sport to lock in your spot. Absolute Sport, it's how champions watch the Super Bowl.
Hey guys, it's Sedano at Los Angeles International Airport. Changes are arriving daily to help reduce traffic, save travelers time, and transform the travel experience. The LAX economy parking structure is now open with thousands of smart parking spaces, as well as hundreds of EV charging stations. Modernized terminals have biometric gates for faster boarding, and in the future, the People Mover train will connect travelers to LA Metro. For more information, go to their website, flylax.com/transforminglax. That's flylax.com/transforminglax.
Hi, it's LeBron. The Lakers play here.
710 ESPN.
KSPN, Los Angeles.
A good karma brands radio station. Monday, February 3rd, 2025. Travis Rogers, DeMarco Farr. The Travis and DeMarco Show is on for a massive Monday. But Travis didn't come in today. Out sick. Does Trav not want to participate in Luka Doncic Day? Andy Kamenetsky's here. DeMarco's going, oh, Max Christie. We spent all day reacting on a Michelob Ultra Reaction Monday to the blockbuster move the Lakers made Saturday night, sending AD to Dallas. Luka's a Laker, and we're talking about it all day. Don't miss a moment. Let's do it. The Travis and DeMarco Show on this massive Monday right now.
Yeah!
Yeah!
Did you see that video of Max Christie talking after the Knicks game? The foreshadowing?
No idea.
They removed his name tag, his nameplate from his locker as he's speaking.
It was on Velcro in MSG, I'm assuming.
Dude!
Yeah.
He had no idea. Like, John Ireland was on yesterday when Brian and I were doing the Sunday emergency extravaganza. Luka is a Laker, take your calls, yada, yada. We brought on John Ireland. I asked him, because I really was curious, was Max Christie on the flight back? And the answer is no. He was not.
Of course not. You're going to fly from there.
You're
going to Dallas, man. You're not a Laker anymore.
Well, but here's the thing. I wasn't sure in the timeline, like, had the team already taken off?
That would be cold.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I
trade him on the plane.
I did not know. Like, where were we in terms of time? Because this sucker
Well, LeBron
punch,
was at dinner, apparently, when we found out.
Well, this sucker punched the world. Like, the absolute world. And I guess LeBron was at dinner, which I guess could imply like there had been some time before the team plane took off. But, you know, he's also LeBron.
LeBron by himself.
LeBron can do whatever he wants. There's an extra day, an extra couple days between the New York game and tomorrow's game against the Clippers.
Yeah.
Like,
I heard that about Jimmy Butler. That's part of the problem. He was flying separately.
Apparently this is something Jimmy Butler's been doing forever.
But what kind of team is that? Really?
I don't know. I mean, Jimmy Butler's his whole separate deal.
Oh,
anyway.
Where's your coach? I'm just saying. I mean, this guy flies by himself.
Suppose it is interesting, just in the sense all we ever hear about is heat culture. You know, button down. They know how to do everything
by himself.
Right, exactly.
Right, okay.
And has apparently been doing that for a while.
Yeah. All a sham.
Bunch of
wow.
malarkey.
Oh my God.
All right. So, how does the rest of the league feel about Luka with the Lakers, short-term, long-term? It's interesting. Giannis was asked about this and in so many words said, hey, man, if that dude can get traded, we can all get traded.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, we are all – there are very few, if any of us, that are safe. Like, I would say Wemby's safe.
He's that guy.
Wemby's that
and
guy,
young.
and he's young.
Yeah.
He ain't getting traded. Jokic ain't getting traded.
Nope, unless he wants to.
Unless he wants to. Yeah, the caveat of unless they want to.
Yeah.
But Wemby, Jokic.
SGA?
I think SGA is
I'll
pretty
take
damn
that back.
safe.
I mean, I think even Jokic could be traded now. I mean, I think what Giannis says is exactly true. If you can trade a guy like Luka out of Dallas under his nose, anyone could be traded.
Yeah.
Anyone for the right price.
Sure.
All it takes is somebody on the
I
other
just
end.
don't know. I don't know what the right price, I guess, for Jokic for Wemby.
You could trade Giannis tomorrow if you take a lesser deal. Just give me one first rounder for Giannis. Sure,
but there's got to be there has to be a reason. Like the reason for Wemby, for Jokic, and I would say SGA, the reasons have to be pretty red alert. Okay. Everything's on fire.
What if the reason is, and I don't know why you would do that in an era where NBA teams are actually making money, right? We just don't want to pay you the Supermax. We don't want to play player X the Supermax deal, so let's get out in front and trade him.
Okay, that's interesting you say that. I've seen a lot of people who cover the league talk about how this is right now what we are seeing with Luka. You know, there's the other stuff with Luka, depending on how big a deal
Maybe
you think
they're
it
just
is.
using that as smoke, yeah.
But there's also this new CBA where it starts becoming not just expensive with Supermax players, but the way, first aprons, second aprons, it starts becoming that much more difficult to build around these guys. So you have to be damn sure this is the guy you want. And it starts becoming easier to talk yourself out of guys that feels like, why the hell would you ever get rid of him? Like, say, I don't know, Luka Doncic. Like, this is in some ways the effect of the CBA. Like, one of the, frankly, unforeseen consequences of this new CBA.
Loophole for teams.
Right. Well,
could be.
Look,
I mean, the last thing I would want is to be like saddled to Joel Embiid forever.
Oh, yeah.
I'm at his whim.
Great example, because Joel Embiid is one of those guys, and Philly's obviously treated in that way, where it feels like, well, of course you ride with Joel Embiid forever because he's that great, even though he's perpetually hurt.
Giving you 40 games a year.
Right.
That's it.
But he's so good, you can't replace him. At this point, we've gone so far with him, you never move off Joel Embiid.
If you can give me a way out before I have to pay him that much money, I might actually think about doing that.
Ian in Long Beach actually wants to weigh in on this. What's up, Ian?
Hey, guys. What no one is paying attention to is who owns the Mavericks now. Miriam Adelson has no history with the NBA. What she does have is a history of union busting.
Oh.
That's now told the NBA that the players don't control the league. We control the league now.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Preach.
That
Thank
is
you, Ian.
That is a great call.
That's where we're going.
That is a great call, Ian.
Yes.
Thank you.
I didn't know about the union busting.
Miriam Adelson, she's very, very involved in politics. She's a very, very, I'm not looking to take this down a political road, but she is a very, very
Don't do it.
generous Trump donor. And I'm not bringing it up in terms of Trump, but I'm saying in terms of somebody who involves themselves in politics. And unions are, in a lot of ways, a political issue. And
union busting.
Most big business owners, her family's for people who don't know, they're in the casino business. Oh. The Adelsons are very, very deep into, among other things, casinos.
Oh.
You'd be hard-pressed to find any big business that likes unions.
I bet not. And that makes sense. I mean, I started the day asking you about if you had to put a name on or how do you title, or what do you call that? Describe the Adam Silver era of basketball. How would you describe it in one word?
Can I use a hyphen?
Go for it.
Player-friendly.
Player-friendly. Okay. Player-friendly means?
Players have had more control, more agency, and some would say too much.
And where has that led you?
To where we are right now.
Correct. And that makes a whole lot of sense that that ownership is starting to fight back. And maybe Luka is the first sacrificial lamb out there.
Yeah. I mean, again, I think...
And let's just pin it on him being fat and lazy.
Now, look, I think most GMs around the league, because the reaction seems to be like, what the F? Like, most GMs seem to be like, wait, A, they traded Luka. B, they traded Luka without putting him on the open market. Like,
is that legal? Can you do
legal.
that?
You can pinpoint.
Can you do that?
Look, Dallas has clearly wanted Anthony Davis for a while.
Yeah.
They pinpointed, I think, Anthony Davis as a player they wanted, and also pinpointed Rob Pelinka as the GM that we can do this with, for whatever reason, and keep it quiet. They wanted to keep this really quiet and clean.
Okay. I kept hearing, I keep reading there was more to this deal when it began, and they whittled it down to this.
I don't know.
Max Christie first rounder.
I don't look.
From what I just read, it initially included Dalton Connect, and somehow Rob Pelinka got around that. So I don't think it was just Rob sitting here like listening. I think he was actually negotiating.
Of course. I mean, look, as much as this in a lot of ways,
my opinion on Rob Pelinka.
as much as this got thrust upon Rob in some respects, I find it hard to believe that Nico Harrison said, okay, not only do we want to trade you Kyrie, here are the deal points. It's going to be Anthony Davis. It's going to be Max Christie. It's going to be a first-round pick. I'm not even interested in negotiating. I'm sure that there was more that Rob specifically took on or off the table.
Yeah.
I hope that if it was a choice, I hope that it was not a choice between Christie and Connect.
Yeah.
Because I think if it was a choice and you chose Dalton Connect, you chose wrong.
Right.
I think definitely for the now you chose wrong. I think it's possible for the later you chose wrong.
I wish I could have been a fly in the room for Rob Pelinka when the guy actually said yes to that deal. Like, what do you do? Did you just say yes to that?
And look, for balancing salary, it is more difficult to do this with Connect instead of Christie because the numbers have to add up. That's why Jalen Hood-Schifino got moved to Utah. It was basically so in order to be able to take
exile,
in order to take Luka in and make the salaries work, they needed to offload Jalen Hood-Schifino's $4-ish million. Utah gets a couple second-round picks for the trouble.
Total radio guy stuff. Let me throw this at you. Who gets more championships? Which era? LeBron era or Luka era? Which era nets more championships?
For the Lakers?
For the Lakers. And don't go, I'll tell you next. You're about to. See? Look at you.
Well, I mean, look.
On the spot.
We are around the
I was just going to say,
the segment.
DeMarco, to be fair, you teed this up right at the point
I don't
where
want
we
to
would
give you 3
tease.
minutes to think.
Okay. I'm going to say the
Tell
Luka.
me next.
710 ESPN.
Hey, it's DeMarco Farr. Travis gets me with that every day, so it's fun. Anyway, play your perfect
anarchist
at Pechanga Resort Casino, Southern California's premier resort casino experience. Why get stuck in traffic when you can be at the best casino resort in Southern California in less than 1 hour? Pechanga gives guests all the amenities they expect of a world-class resort, exceptional entertainment, dining, spa, golf, and let's not forget, round-the-clock gaming excitement. The immense casino floor, the 1,100 hotel rooms and suites, the spa, the golf course, 20 bars and restaurants, and so much more make Pechanga Resort Casino one of the largest resort casinos in the country. So, come see why readers of Newsweek and USA Today voted Pechanga Resort Casino the best casino outside of Vegas. That's a big deal. So, whether your idea of entertainment is lounging poolside like me and AK, you like pool stuff, right?
Yeah, why not? Who
Floaties
doesn't?
and stuff like that. There you go. Or putting a great bet on blackjack.
Swim without floaties.
There you go. Well, it depends on how many bars we went to. Pechanga Resort Casino is waiting for you. Visit Pechanga.com or call this number, 888-PECHANGA, to book a reservation or for more info. If you have Instagram, who doesn't have Instagram at this point? You can follow them at Pechanga Casino for up-to-the-minute news and information.
ESPN LA and Beverly Hills Ortho are teaming up because we want to know who's smiling in SoCal. Go to ESPNLA.com and nominate who you think is making LA a better place. Could be a mentor, a teacher, a coach, a good Samaritan, or you could nominate yourself. You could win prizes like sweet tickets, Sonic Care electric toothbrushes, whitening treatment, or the grand prize, Invisalign. Enter now at ESPNLA.com, and remember, you're always smiling at Beverly Hills Ortho.
Hi, my name is Victoria. I am from Silmar, California, and I just want to say thank you to all the firefighters for everything that you've done. You are so brave, so just amazing and brave, and we appreciate everything you've done for the city.
You know, I want to thank them. You know, without them, the fire wouldn't be the way it is right now. You know, little help like you guys asked for. You know, I got a few bobbleheads, a few jerseys, a few shirts that are brand new, and some baseball cards.
Thank you so much for the first responders and for the firefighters that are helping the community and the people of California and especially Los Angeles. And thank you so much for your work and keep doing what you're doing. You guys are the real heroes.
My name's Alfredo Famath, and I'm from Silmar, right next to the Hearst fire. We got evacuated, but I really want to thank the firefighters for saving my house and my friends' houses. You know, I appreciate you guys, and without you guys, I don't know where to be at, probably without a home, but I really appreciate everything you guys do for us.
What's up, everybody? Cappy here, InsideCrypto.com, and I just want to take a second to thank all the first responders, the firefighters, but I'm going to take another direction here. I was talking about it on the air. Our friends at Lazy Dog and LA Live have been feeding all these firefighters. I'm going to send a shout out to all the wait staff who are feeding the firefighters, who can then feel good, be nourished, go to sleep, and then get out there and fight those fires. So to everybody that's helping, appreciate all y'all.
Hey, Henry Ramos here from El Monte. Hey, first responders, thank you for everything you guys are doing, and keep fighting on. And this is for Los Angeles. Thank you guys, and keep going. We love you, LA.
The devastating fires that have struck Southern California, there are options for you if you're dealing with food insecurity. It is the LA Regional Food Bank. You can go to lafoodbank.org/fire. We are also looking for collections from you. All kinds of stuff needed for people that are dealing with the fire right now. Please join us in helping our friends and neighbors who are dealing with this tragedy.
This sounds like a Tom Petty song.
Completely off now. They don't have a big man. Thinking that they're a better team now, that's an insane position. That's just taking advantage of people who are just going to make stupid bets. If the Lakers make another move, and the one thing that the Lakers have going for them is they didn't send all the stuff to Dallas. They're still holding Austin Reeves and their 2031 pick. That's like, if you want to bet on something, it's that the Lakers can put people around Luka because they didn't give everything to Dallas. Dallas should be feeling bad that they don't have more to trade to put their team around Kyrie and Davis. Those guys are in their 30s. They can't have a 4-year plan. They have to win now.
Get him, Wendy.
That was Brian Windhorst on Get Up this morning talking about, obviously, what everyone's talking about, the Luka Doncic, Anthony Davis trade. Luka is now a Laker. Anthony Davis, along with Max Christie, and somebody who will be selected, I believe, in 2029. They are now Dallas Mavericks. And
you think Luka's in better shape than Wendy, right? Just making sure. I mean, just trying to see where we're at.
That was uncalled for.
Just saying.
That
I'm just asking.
Was
just trying to
uncalled
for. But us calling me
on both sides.
No, I mean we calling Luka out of shape and fat. It's all tongue in cheek.
Okay, first of all,
the guy's a professional athlete.
I was going to say, first of all, we have not been calling Luka out of shape as much as the Mavericks were calling him out of shape.
That's what I'm saying. It's all a little overblown. The guy is a pro athlete.
But by the standards of what is expected of you as a professional athlete, Luka has had conditioning issues. Like,
no doubt.
Here's an example I will give. When LeBron, during his first season with the Lakers, he had a groin injury. It happened during the Christmas Day game against the Warriors.
Yes.
And he missed, I think, like a month or so. And I remember
Groins are tricky. Yeah.
LeBron's had it recurrently. He's had it recurrently. But I remember the first practice that I went to that season when LeBron started practicing again with the team. Like, you knew that LeBron was close to returning because he was starting to practice. And the portion that we were allowed as media to enter while they were wrapping things up, and you're watching it, LeBron is practicing, as he often does, shirtless. And I remember at that moment being like, okay, this is as dad bod as LeBron gets. Like, this is LeBron hasn't practiced in like a month. It's, lower extremity, probably hasn't been
got that extra
on the treadmill.
Layer.
No.
Yeah.
He looked amazing.
I
was like, this is as dad bod as LeBron gets. He
looked great.
He looked incredible.
Oh, I see what you mean.
The point being, LeBron is the extreme on one end. Like, LeBron is always in incredible shape. Luka is the opposite end of it. For a normal, average human being, Luka's in incredible shape.
Yes.
For the standards of NBA athlete, Luka has legitimately conditioning
when you
issues.
see him on the floor, he's a bit wide, but he's still following it up, and who cares? That's the thing. But if he could be better, you would think for you as an athlete, as good as you are, if you actually took this a little more seriously in the offseason, get yourself a dietitian, stop doing certain things. It's fair to mention drinking, right?
He has a reputation as some. I want to make
some
it clear.
People
I'm not
have
saying,
led with that. Yeah,
right, I'm not saying it's a substance abuse problem. I just want to make sure this is clear. He has a reputation, though, as somebody who enjoys an adult beverage.
He likes to party. Okay, so like Rob Gronkowski liked to party. I remember he used to say, like, this is going to hurt your career. Gronk's going to the Hall of Fame, so it doesn't matter. But if you took your conditioning and your diet, let's just put all that into diet, a little more seriously, how good could you really be? I mean, you're already great now.
Look, there's a way to balance this. Like LeBron never misses an opportunity to let you know how much he loves wine and how much he drinks wine. Like LeBron says this enough where it almost feels like a cry for help.
But he always says, I drink a glass of wine.
Sure.
Like he tells you how much. Just one.
Just one
glass.
Loves his tequila.
I don't believe that. I think it's one bottle. but yeah.
But the point being, though, LeBron raises his wine consumption, his tequila consumption quite a bit. He still is clearly in great shape. To answer, though, that question you posed, which era is going to earn more championship? Luka with the Lakers or LeBron with the Lakers?
So we're talking one.
Well, okay.
So one or more than one?
Are you counting, let's say, over the next 2 years?
Yes.
2 to 3 years. LeBron and Luka win a title together.
I'm giving them as long as they're teammates. So that this year counts. I'm not ready to throw out this season with the bathwater because it looks different.
But does that count on the LeBron ledger, Luka ledger, or both? You see what I'm asking?
This would be the LeBron era still. So if the Lakers get another one when Luka and LeBron are on the same team, I would give this to LeBron.
But not both.
Not both. Okay. Just LeBron. Now, when LeBron steps away, steps down, retires, and it becomes just Luka's squad, then we start counting for just Luka. That makes sense.
I would say if I had to bet on it, I would bet on the Luka era just because you're talking about the younger player. Theoretically, at least, he hasn't even signed an extension yet.
Yeah.
But theoretically, more time with the Lakers.
10 years.
As starting out the younger player. Like LeBron joined this team, I want to say he was like 33.
Yeah.
Something like that. This is now his 7th season. He's like 33 years old. Luka has 7 years before he hits 33.
Yes.
So the odds,
I was going to say room to grow, but that's not what we want with Luka.
Room for the team
room
to
grow. Get better. Yeah.
Room for the team to
develop.
grow.
Develop is better. We don't want to say room to grow.
Much better.
No more growing, Luka. You're done growing.
You're no longer a growing boy, Luka.
Right.
I think if the odds and the potential context favor Luka more than they favor LeBron.
10 years to get 2.
Especially if the Lakers avoid something like the Russell Westbrook deal. Because in a lot of ways, the window for LeBron and AD, from a practical standpoint, may have been shut the minute they made that deal.
Could be.
Because it's not just that you had to unwind the deal. It's the time that you burned without LeBron and AD in the maximum place possible.
True. I thought you had gotten everything you could out of that Frankenstein of a roster. You really did. And credit to LeBron and AD for keeping this thing afloat for as long as you did. But we all knew you had no illusions, right? Yeah. Illusions that this was going to net championship unless you made a move.
I agree.
Right. That's what I mean.
Agree.
So I think we're all sobered up to the fact that this was probably not going to be a championship level roster for a while. And I think that has all changed a little bit.
I think, first of all, the organization clearly felt like we've maxed LeBron and AD, and we have questions, if not about necessarily Anthony Davis as your focal point moving forward, at the very least, there are questions of how quickly are we going to be able to put a championship team around AD as the focal point? Because the guy's 31 now.
You mean after LeBron?
Right.
Or even right now? Yeah.
Even right now. Like,
yeah.
Forget the idea of maximizing LeBron. It's Anthony Davis is already on the back end of his prime.
Well,
if you can't do this quickly, you need to
You're
pivot.
back in the same stuff.
Right.
So I have a question for you. Who do you think guys would want to play with more? Do you think AD brings talent here? Like, people are flocking, or not flocking. People want to go to San Antonio, like you pointed out, to play with Wemby.
Yeah.
Do you think they come here to play with AD, a over 30 AD?
Not the same way.
Do you think Luka gets the same result, or do people start wanting to come here to play with Luka now?
I think the potential of playing with Luka at his age, and he is, I think, respectfully to AD, a better player at this stage of his career than Anthony Davis is. He's the guy that can get you a lot of your stats in ways Anthony Davis doesn't necessarily do that. Like, AD can help make your life easier by covering your mistakes
but
defensively.
Luka's helping my numbers.
Right. By AD will help you in the sense of he will put up 25 a game while playing first-team All-NBA defense, but Luka will actually inflate your numbers. Luka has a better chance of getting you paid.
Is there a modern equivalent to Meta World Peace? Does that guy exist right now? Find him.
You mean like as far as like a a wing defender?
Give Luka his Marty McSorley. Give him his goon. Give him his guy that does the dirty work so Luka can just be Luka.
I don't think OKC is giving up Lou Dort anytime soon.
That'd be fun.
Isaiah Stewart is kind of known that way in Detroit.
Or somebody assume that role now. I don't know.
Like the guy that is protecting Luka?
Yeah, just bringing the dog the toughness so that your guy that's not really that way has to pretend.
Well, he's not going to play enough for it to matter.
Yeah.
But Markieff Morris, who came over in this deal,
I'm glad you mentioned that.
He is a lot like that. Like Markieff Morris has a reputation around the league as you'd rather not mess with him.
A sheriff type. Yeah, that's
he's
what I mean.
actually Nick Angstad had told us that Markieff Morris actually, at some point during his time with the Mavericks, instigated and led a players-only meeting.
Oh, really?
That I think, it was about everybody, but Markieff Morris was the guy that did that. Like, Keefe was great with the Lakers. Like, he was a buyout acquisition the year that they won the championship. They signed him for one more year. Like, Markieff Morris has always been known as somebody who can be really positive for a locker room. Especially as a veteran, at the very least, as a veteran presence.
Rob Pelinka right now at A+ for the deal, right? You give him an A+. Is there anything above an A+? Because if you make one more move and get a big, it's not just the future we're talking about. You could actually do something this year.
Well, for the present, to quote Kobe, job ain't done yet.
Job ain't done. One more move.
If you are looking to compete for this season, job ain't done yet. Like, the job moving forward.
And I'd be okay with you saying just punting on this season, and we'll do everything in the summer. That'd be great too. But if you make one more move and try to compete now,
if you are looking to fully maximize the time that LeBron and Luka are together, job ain't done yet.
Job ain't done.
We'll see what happens between now and Thursday. Coming up next, going to play a little hot and cold, but first, call in 877-710-ESPN, 877-3776 to win a chance at the Islands Super Squares for That is what we are. Big game winners will receive $100 for the first quarter, $150 second quarter, $100 for the third quarter, $250 for the final score. Best happy hour in town, Islands is the go-to spot for happy hour sliders, cheddar fries, tiki tenders paired with an ice-cold beer, cold enough for even Travis Rogers, starting around $3. It's time to visit Paradise. Hot and cold coming up next. Travis and DeMarco, 710 ESPN.
Hey, everybody, excited.
Hi, my name is Victoria. I am from Silmar, California, and I just want to say thank you to all the firefighters for everything that you've done. You are so brave, so just amazing and brave, and we appreciate everything you've done for the city.
I want to thank them. Without them, the fire wouldn't be the way it is right now. Little help, like you guys asked for. I got a few bobbleheads, a few jerseys, a few shirts that are brand new, and some baseball cards.
Thank you so much for the first responders and for the firefighters that are helping the community and the people of California, and especially Los Angeles. And thank you so much for your work, and keep doing what you're doing. You guys are the real heroes.
My name's Alfredo Famath, and I'm from Silmar, right next to the Hearst fire. We got evacuated, but I really want to thank the firefighters for saving my house and my friends' houses. I appreciate you guys, and without you guys, I don't know where to be at, probably without a home, but I really appreciate everything you guys do for us.
What's up, everybody? Cappy here, InsideCrypto.com, and I just want to take a second to thank all the first responders, the firefighters, but I'm going to take another direction here. I was talking about it on the air. Our friends at Lazy Dog and LA Live have been feeding all these firefighters. I'm going to send a shout out to all the wait staff who are feeding the firefighters, who can then feel good, be nourished, go to sleep, and then get out there and fight those fires. So to everybody that's helping, appreciate all y'all.
Hey, Henry Ramos here from El Monte. Hey, first responders, thank you for everything you guys are doing, and keep fighting on. And this is for Los Angeles. Thank you guys, and keep going. We love you, LA.
Hey guys, it's Mina Kimes, host of the Mina Kimes Show featuring Lenny, here to tell you about a live podcast taping I am doing in Los Angeles Monday, February 3rd, right before the Super Bowl. I am joined by Greg Rosenthal, Jordan Rodriguez, Chris Ryan, Andy Greenwald, and the Rams' own Kobe Turner. 100% of your ticket proceeds go to wildfire relief here in Los Angeles. Check it out, minapodlive.com.
You know?
Pan dulce.
Pan dulce.
Pan what?
Pan dulce, bro. Dulce, bro.
Pan dulce, bro. See the way I rolled the R on my bro? Right. Pan dulce, bro. Oh, bro. Yeah, so DeAndre opens up this box. He goes, yo, pan dulce, bro. And I was like, yo, what up with that? I'm like, is that protein or what?
The LA Afternoon Takeover. That's Sedano and Cap.
On 710 ESPN.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
I think my battery's dead.
With free battery testing and charging, we can help you get back on the road.
Get in the zone,
So what if I need a new one?
We have the right Duralast battery for you, only at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
And what about my old battery?
We can recycle it right here at America's #1 battery destination.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Madam Giselle senses something in your future.
Is my boyfriend gonna propose?
It's a big storm.
Wait, we're gonna get in a fight?
No, a literal storm. Wind, heavy wind. I see a tree falling on your RV.
Oh, that's fine. I'm covered by Progressive. So, is my boyfriend there? Maybe on one knee?
The entire roof is crushed.
So, no ring.
Be prepared for the unexpected with Progressive, a leader in RV insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Product features subject to policy terms and may not be available in all states or for all vehicles and covered selections.
As you know, we've welcomed a new partner here at 710 ESPN, Next Gen. Next Gen, the official AC, heat, and plumbing company of SoCal sports fans.
You're as cold as ice.
Call 833-3-NEXTGEN, NEXGEN, or visit nextgenairandplumbing.com. Time for our feature we do 3 days a week. Who's hot? Who's cold? Thanks to Next Gen. Boy, time for Who's Hot? Who's Cold? Take it away, Producer M.
Thanks, Chris. So what's hot? What's hot is trade requests. We were talking all day about the trade of Luka Doncic to the Lakers, but the NFL has a trade request. This is from Myles Garrett. He says, and this is his announcement that he's requesting a trade. As a kid dreaming of the NFL, all I focused on was the ultimate goal of winning a Super Bowl, and that goal fuels me more than ever.
Ain't gonna happen in Cleveland.
My love of Northeast Ohio and the incredible fan base of Cleveland Browns has made me one of the toughest decisions of my life. These past 8 years have shaped me into the man that I am today. While I loved calling this city my home, my desire to win and compete at the biggest stages won't allow me to be complacent. This goal was never to go from Cleveland to Canton. It was to be able to compete and win a Super Bowl. With that in mind, I have requested to be traded to the Cleveland Browns, signed Myles Garrett. So, where do you guys think he's going to end up?
Good for him. It's never going to happen in Cleveland. And can you imagine? He came into the league in 2017, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 102 and a half sacks. 102 and a half sacks, and it amounts to bupkis.
He's so good.
So good. So good.
I will ask the obligatory, do you think the Rams can get him?
I don't think you have a place for him.
Is he okay? Let me ask you this, just theoretically, like forget the mechanics of whether or not they could do it. Do they have somebody to offer? Yada yada yada. Is he so great that you make the place for him. If
yes,
let's just say this is possible.
Yes,
you get him and you figure it out.
Absolutely. You ask Verse to bump over to the other side. You may have to put Byron Young on the bench. That might be hard.
Okay, now let's take this to reality. If you're looking around the league, who do you think is the team that he's either the best fit for, trip over themselves?
Anywhere but this division. Stay away from Seattle, stay away from Arizona, stay away from San Francisco the most.
Just because they're loaded up the most with his position?
Yes, because you have to see him twice a year. Anywhere else but this division,
Oh, you're
please.
saying where you wish he ends
yes.
up. Okay.
I don't care
Watch
where
him
he
end
goes.
up on the Eagles, and then they end up at the Super Bowl again,
I
and
can
they
see
also
that again.
lose to the Chiefs.
But he deserves it,
Yes,
though.
he does.
He deserves to be on one of those teams.
That dude is a wrecking machine.
Yes.
He's so freaking good.
Begged Joe Thomas to get out of Cleveland for
But
years.
at least the Browns have Deshaun Watson.
Why? Why?
I mean,
you did not have to go down.
What a disaster.
You could have said, is it Justin Tucker? He's in the news for the same thing. Right.
Yeah, but his team didn't
They
give him.
did not give him one of the biggest deal of
Just
guaranteed
saying.
money after he was accused and did that.
Anywhere, you know what? Detroit for Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
Detroit for Myles Garrett. That would be dangerous.
That's already a really good defense as it is.
Yeah, that would be dangerous.
Ooh. But I agree with you. Free Myles Garrett.
Yes. I'm glad he actually spoke up and said it, and he did it in a respectful way.
Yes. He did all he could for Cleveland, and it just wasn't going to work out. So Cold is pro athlete parents. Okay, so do you guys know who Holland is for soccer?
No.
The Haaland is his last name. He is one of the best players in the English Premier League. He plays for Manchester City.
Yeah,
he has a man bun.
The dude with the scarves, they always go nuts.
I don't know who
I
that
do
is.
know who that is.
Okay,
Yeah.
So he is, as some people would believe, the best player in English Premier League. He plays for Manchester City. They're not having the best season this year. They, in fact, got crushed by my team, Arsenal, 5-1 yesterday. And in the game, one of the Arsenal players was kind of jawing back and forth, telling Holland, be humble, because, again, correct me if I'm wrong, Arsenal fans, but Holland before had told Jesus to be humble. So it's like going back a couple of years.
They're all Kendricking each other.
Yeah, exactly. But
They're all what?
Kendricking.
Kendricking. Make that a word, but go ahead.
Holland's father,
Be humble.
Alfie Holland, went on to Twitter, and Arsenal posted this photo saying, this team, Alfie Holland said, this team that wins everything, not. Basically saying Arsenal doesn't have any hardware, stop talking mess. But my statement is, do you like it? Or my question to you guys, do you guys like it when parents stick up for their kids on social media? These pro athlete parents sticking up for their kids. We're seeing Luka's dad do it right now.
Funny. Okay, so today I was supposed to talk to Michael Brockers. Remember Michael Brockers?
Oh, yeah. Loved that guy.
Me
One
too.
of my favorite Rams when I was more covering the team.
Yes.
Great guy.
He's on my list as favorite Rams.
He's
favorite players, AD.
Awesome dude. An underrated player.
Super underrated. Couldn't wait. I mean, we're going to do it today or tomorrow. But funny. So I would tweet stuff about Michael Brockers, like my Michael Brockers appreciation tweet. And I would get responses from his mother. And I'm like, oh, Mike, I heard from your mom. And they were like, oh, you don't know? Like, what are you talking about? She is fiercely defensive of her son.
Right.
So I love that. I love when parents stick up for their kids.
Yeah, it should.
Yes.
It depends to me. Like, it's...
Especially when it's unfair.
I would say, okay, for me, it is hot or cold depending on the context.
Yeah.
If you are standing up for your kid, that's one thing. If you are a sports parent who is transparently trying to make yourself the story, then cold.
So in this instance, Holland, there's no thing bashing Holland in the post from Arsenal. The father just decided to take a swipe at the team for no reason.
Fun. See, now, okay, defending your kid's one thing. When you're stepping out in front, that's an issue. Like when they, who was that in Cleveland? When they put out every video of Baker Mayfield missing their son.
I think it was OBJ's dad.
OBJ's dad. Every video of Baker Mayfield missing his son. That's bad. You can't do that.
And again, you start making yourself the story in a way that ultimately your athlete child has to cash those checks you're writing.
Right. I
think Roma Dunze's dad is doing this now as well.
Like, I think LeVar Ball did that a lot with Lonzo and with the other kids.
You
like
didn't say Odunze, did
I said Roma Dunze's dad is doing this as well in Chicago.
Oh, no.
But yeah, so I also just want to give a shout out to Julio. He, supports Arsenal and hung out with my friend yesterday at the Arsenal bar. He's like, "Oh, hey, Julio!" So shout out Julio.
I've been there for an Arsenal game.
Which game? Which do you go to Joxer Dailies?
Say that again one more time
Do
slower.
you go to Joxer Dailies
in Culver City?
Yeah.
No, in England.
Oh, you've been to London and done it.
Crazy.
Oh, yeah. I've never been, so.
They were playing Tottenham? It's their rival, right?
Yes, Tottenham is their biggest rival. The North London Derby is what
North
it
London.
called.
There's some kid that was an Arsenal fan, and I was trying to explain to him about the Rams leaving. They moved? It was like, yeah.
Yeah.
The team moved.
Those don't move.
They don't move.
Yeah.
He didn't get it.
European soccer fans, like, you might as well have three heads while you're trying to explain that.
I said, what happens if Arsenal moves? And he looked at me like he wanted to hurt me.
They can be relegated.
But the phrase "we will riot" gets thrown around too loosely. If Arsenal relocates,
it's
really,
legit.
We will riot. Like,
they
those
almost went to
people.
the Super League, and riots happened. So, but by the way, Hot and Cold is brought to you by Next Gen, the official AC heating, plumbing, and electrical company of SoCal sports fans. Call 833-NEX-GEN or visit nextgenairandplumbing.com.
Is it Erling Haaland?
Yes, that's his dad's name.
That's the dad.
Yes.
So the dad played soccer too.
No. Sorry, Erling Haaland is the soccer player. Alfie Haaland is
Alfie's
the dad.
So it's Erling, Erling, Haaland with 3 A's, and his middle name is Brout. Yeah, I love the middle name.
Okay, and this Holland fella is English, correct?
No.
He's
Norwegian.
He's Norwegian.
Dude, and he
plays in the English Premier League.
When you think Norwegian, it's a picture of this guy.
Oh, really?
Oh, my God.
Is he hunky?
He looks like
dreamy.
He looks like cream cheese. He's that white.
Yes.
With blonde hair and like really long blonde hair that's in a man bun at all times. Like if you just closed your eyes and drew a Norwegian person, it's
him.
Holland.
Oh my God.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
Him with 3 A's.
Like this guy looks like if you asked AI, create me a Norwegian person.
Boom.
Yes.
That's him right there.
Like if you told me that this was a photo of a Viking from like 900 years ago.
If you crop out the jersey, yeah, you're right. That is.
And again, he was talking mess to Gabriel Jesus over a period of time. Holland did score in the game, but they got their butts beat 5-1.
I didn't think Norwegians talk trash. I guess they do.
I think everybody talks trash. If you're a pro athlete, everyone talks trash.
Unbelievable.
This is as white of a dude as ever walked the planet.
As ever you can get, yes.
Yeah,
Luka's like, dang, bro.
Milk, cream cheese.
I'm a little soul, my brother. I mean, wow.
Really? Wow. Unbelievable.
Well,
I like his job title, though, striker.
Striker.
That's a great name. I like that.
Striker.
I'm a striker.
That's a great, like, all positions that you play in sports should sound that like awesome and intimidating and proactive.
Nothing
aggressive.
is more intimidating than striker.
Striker. I'm a striker.
Gets right down to it. Yes.
I'm Erling Haaland, the striker. All right, coming up next, The Dump. Travis and DeMarco Show. Andy Kamenetsky in for Travis, 710 ESPN.
ESPN LA and Beverly Hills Ortho are teaming up because we want to know who's smiling in SoCal. Go to ESPNLA.com and nominate who you think is making LA a better place. Could be a mentor, a teacher, a coach, a good Samaritan, or you could nominate yourself. You could win prizes like sweet tickets, Sonic Care electric toothbrushes, whitening treatment, or the grand prize, Invisalign. Enter now at ESPNLA.com, and remember, you're always smiling at Beverly Hills Ortho.
Hi, my name is Victoria. I am from Sylmar, California, and I just want to say thank you to all the firefighters for everything that you've done. You are so brave, so just amazing and brave, and we appreciate everything you've done for the city.
You know, I want to thank them. You know, without them, the fire wouldn't be the way it is right now. You know, little help like you guys asked for. You know, I got a few bobbleheads, a few jerseys, a few shirts that are brand new, and some baseball cards.
Thank you so much for the first responders and for the firefighters that are helping the community and the people of California and especially Los Angeles. And thank you so much for your work and keep doing what you're doing. You guys are the real heroes.
My name's Alfredo Famath, and I'm from Sylmar, right next to the Hearst fire. We got evacuated, but I really want to thank the firefighters for saving my house and my friends' houses. You know, I appreciate you guys, and without you guys, I don't know where to be at, you know, probably without a home, but I really appreciate everything you guys do for us.
What's up, everybody? Cappy here, InsideCrypto.com, and I just want to take a second to thank all the first responders, the firefighters, but I'm going to take another direction here. I was talking about it on the air. Our friends at Lazy Dog in LA.
For the dump, and today, on this day, there was a bunch of Super Bowls. Very important, very, especially for the Rams, important Super Bowls. So on this day in 2002, the Patriots beat the Rams 20-17 on Adam Vinatieri's game-winning 48-yard field goal. It's the first Super Bowl title for the franchise as 24-year-old Tom Brady is named the MVP.
Broke my heart, man. I was covering that game. I had just retired. I was working for the Best Damn Sports Show doing the game, covering the game in New Orleans. And I saw all my guys, Marshall, Mike Martz, all my ex-teammates out everywhere. And they had a right to be arrogant. They were good. But as soon as they announced New England, when they took the field and Brian Cox led them out walking backwards.
Brian Cox
led the Patriots.
Nose strap. He always wore the nose Band-Aid.
Not
Walking
Brian
backwards.
Cox of Succession?
No, the other one. But I'm like, the Patriots came here for a street fight. I don't know what the Rams came here for. And Brady wound up beating them.
Taking it to Brian Cox, NFL Brian Cox was telling the Rams, I love you all, but you're not serious people.
Oh,
is that from Succession?
It is from Succession.
Thank you. I figured.
Also on this
I
day,
like Brian Cox, the actor, though. Yeah.
for the Rams, in 2019, this Super Bowl happened in Atlanta, Georgia. New England Patriots beat the Los Angeles Rams 13-3. The MVP was Julian Edelman, and it was the Patriots' 6th Super Bowl victory.
One freaking play.
I know.
They got beat on one play.
You know
one play to Gronk.
What's so funny, too, is that Super Bowl really helped perpetuate the narrative of Jared Goff as the quarterback who can't get it done. And obviously, Jared Goff is not Tom Brady. Obviously, goes without saying.
But that's still out there for Jared.
Sure. But what I think gets lost in time is 3/4 of that Super Bowl, Tom Brady was not performing any better than Jared Goff.
Killing him, but you could have beat him.
Yeah.
And but that specter of still can't get it done is still on Jared Goff.
Of course.
until
I'm just saying, because with guys like Tom Brady, and I think with all the legends, like Michael Jordan, people forget, for a long time was known as the player you can't win the big game with until he became the guy that was 6-0 in the finals and the GOAT.
Couldn't get out of the East.
Right,
at one
exactly.
Point.
Like there are a lot of people who will not remember, but you and I are old enough. Michael Jordan was considered at one point all flash, all scoring, ball hog.
Remember when they froze him out in the All-Star game?
You can't win a championship with Michael Jordan was a thing that people seriously said.
That defense for the Rams was loaded. That was my favorite. They had Sue. So they were holding Tom Brady. If Goff was just a little bit better than he was, you win that game.
Ndamukong Suh was good.
Monsters.
And Goff was pretty young then. You know, it wasn't
he
like
was old enough to be better than that.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, it's no knock. Jared is a great quarterback, but he doesn't have the one last thing needed.
I'm just saying they were one potential quarter away from Jared Goff being one of the few people who ever dethroned Tom Brady. Like from being another Eli Manning.
If you don't let Gronk out on that one play, you win that game.
It's just crazy how these things, like the butterfly effect of it all, like is often, Phil Jackson used to say things can turn on a trifle. It's really true.
Things can turn on a trifle?
That's what he used to say.
And speaking of Eli Manning, on this day in 2008, this happened.
Pressure from Thomas off the edge. Eli Manning stays on his feet, airs it out down the field. It is caught by Tyree.
Oh my God, this ball's thrown and Tyree just goes up for it like a basketball player. Harrison trying to knock it down. And Eli, man, I don't know how he got out of there. I thought he was on the ground, and then he came out of the pile and just slings it, pressing it against his head.
Okay.
And this was in 2008. The Giants beat the undefeated Patriots on that drive.
Saved the world that day. Can you imagine if the Patriots went undefeated? Oh, my God. Save the world.
Party in Miami.
Oh, my God. Two things. One, the best part of that play was Eli Manning actually getting out of danger. The Tyree catch was great, too, but Eli Manning getting out of pressure, amazing. Number
he
two,
was sacked on that play.
He should have been. Number two, what did you think of the call? I don't know why people hate Joe Buck so much. Was there something wrong with that call?
Look, I am biased as somebody who not just grew up in St. Louis, but I actually went to high school with Joe Buck. I didn't know him well, but he was a few years ahead of me.
Yeah.
And he was always very nice when we were in high school. He was nice to me he was a senior when I was a freshman, so he was nice to me as an older guy. I have never understood the dislike of Joe Buck. The only time I ever heard a Joe Buck call, and I was like, all right, dude, seriously, was the Randy Moss mooning.
Oh,
like the pantomime.
And that is a disgusting display.
Okay, settle down, Joe. But that aside, Joe Buck is
his inner Ledoux came out.
Yes, his inner Ledoux came out. If you know St. Louis, you know what DeMarco's talking about.
Disgusting act.
That's Ledoux.
Ledoux is kind of like the Beverly Hills, or it's the Beverly Hills of St. Louis.
Oh my God, yes.
Yes, Joe Buck, and he'd be the first to admit it. He has a podcast acknowledging it in the title. He is a Nepo baby in his industry. Being Jack Buck's son opened a lot of doors. He started out much further than most people ever finished.
But his voice and cadence.
He's great.
His voice and cadence, does that bother you?
No, not at all.
Joe Buck's announcing career in his own right, on its own merits, he's fantastic.
He's fantastic.
He's versatile. He does all sorts of sports.
Yes.
He's great.
He's the easy listening channel of announcers. I can listen to that all day. What's wrong
And I
with
like the pairing of him and Troy.
He's the yacht rock.
He's the yacht rock. You don't like the pairing?
No, I love the pairing.
Me too.
You're hunting for people that don't like him. Everyone here likes him.
I'm just curious as to why I don't get it. I'm like, critique that because it sounds good to me.
Well, here's
what am I missing
Here's
here?
what it is for, I think, a lot of bases all over sports. They all are convinced that the announcers hate their team.
Oh.
And Joe Buck is a ubiquitous announcer in a couple different sports.
Yeah.
So therefore, there are a lot
Maybe
of people who
it's the
think
baseball.
there are a
Okay.
lot of football and baseball fans who are convinced Joe Buck hates their team.
The only heat I hear is from him or about him and Romo. And Tony Romo. It's, as far as football goes.
I think Romo's fine. I'll be honest. I'm one of those people that unless you are god awful,
Unless you suck.
Unless you are just a disaster, I honestly don't really care.
Yeah.
My parents care a lot. My parents almost turn off almost all commentators. They one time texted me because Sedano was calling a game, UVA versus Miami, and they were like, "This Sedano guy is all over Miami," and I'm like, "Well, I mean, he probably did have some vested interest in that," but I was like, "Guys,
your
calm
parents
down."
called Sedano a homer?
Yeah, to me.
Oh, he's a homer for being a homer. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
and that he was being more supportive of Miami. But I was like, Sedano's doing his job. He's going to do the best thing he can.
You need to, at some point, put your parents on with Sedano and have them confront George.
Yeah, about his pro-Miami stuff. So, also on this day in 2013, it was Super Bowl between Joe Flacco of the Baltimore Ravens were turning the Super Bowl into a rout when, without warning, the power went off in the Superdome. When the game resumed 34 minutes later, it was the San Francisco 49ers who were playing lights out. The Ravens survived the frenzied comeback by the 49ers for a thrilling 34-31 win in their second NFL championship in 12 years, and it's the Harbaugh Bowl.
Beyonce again.
I remember
Beyonce again. Oh my God.
I remember that Super Bowl. That was like, wait, what is going on?
Sucked all the power out of the building. Unbelievable.
What is happening?
If those lights don't go out, Colin Kaepernick is a champion.
Think about all the different things that may have come afterwards for Kaepernick and the perception of Kaepernick if he has a Super Bowl ring.
Everything is different.
Yes.
Ray Lewis goes out losing.
Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy. If those lights don't go out, NFL history is completely different.
Crazy.
I know.
And the Grammys were last night, so here are some of the big winners. We have Album of the Year, Beyonce's Cowboy Carter. We have Record of the Year and Song of the Year. Record of the Year is the production of the song. Song of the Year is the writing of the song. Both Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us. We got Best New Artist as Chappell Roan. Best Pop Collab, Bruno Mars and Lady Gaga. Country Music Album, Cowboy Carter. Best Rap Album was Doechii for Alligator Bites Never Heal. Fantastic album, fantastic performance from Doechii last night. And the Pop Lyric Album was Short and Sweet by Sabrina Carpenter.
Interesting.
Any thoughts?
My daughter is obsessed with Sabrina Carpenter.
My daughter likes her a lot, too.
Loves her, yes. I didn't know she was an actress.
Yeah, she was on Disney Channel, so they probably had met her on Disney Channel before that.
So was, correct, Olivia Rodrigo.
Well, the whole thing was that Olivia and Sabrina both... So Olivia was dating a guy, then Sabrina started dating that guy, and that kind of story was what led to Driver's License from Olivia Rodrigo, which launched her. And Sabrina now has gone from, like, the other woman, quote-unquote, to having her own image.
Now, are they fine now, or do they have beef?
I think that they are relatively fine. I don't think that they're, like, actively beefing. I don't think that they're besties.
Okay, well, they don't
but I think that they're, they can coexist.
Hold on, I can see Greg in there. Luka. Yeah, I can see he just...
No, he understands. It's the dump. This is where we're supposed to do this stuff. We're like, we have license.
Luka's a Laker.
Right.
There.
It's part of the game plan that Greg approved. We've talked a lot of Luka.
No, we haven't talked enough. We have to keep going.
Well, you know what's coming up in crosstalk? You know what's coming up in crosstalk?
What?
More Luka talk. It's Luka talk coming up, 710 ESPN.
Mason and Ireland.
I can't either. I don't think I'm replaceable.
No, of course not. You definitely are not replaceable.
I am not replaceable.
You are one of a kind.
Yes, that is for sure.
The biggest show on the radio, weekdays at noon.
On 710 ESPN.
Hey guys, it's Mina Kimes, host of the Mina Kimes Show featuring Lenny, here to tell you about a live podcast taping I am doing in Los Angeles Monday, February 3rd, right before the Super Bowl. I am joined by Greg Rosenthal, Jordan Rodriguez, Chris Ryan, Andy Greenwald, and the Rams' own Kobe Turner. 100% of your ticket proceeds go to wildfire relief here in Los Angeles. Check it out, minapodlive.com.
That's BOUQS.com, promo code ESPN, Books, promo code ESPN.
ESPN AM 710 Los Angeles.
KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Super Crosstalk presented by In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out. That's what a hamburger is all about.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
Here come the cops. Oh.
DONCIC. Wow.
Wow. Unreal. Is it real or are we having the same dream?
I think it's real.
It's all real?
It took me a while. Like Saturday night, I heard about it late.
Yeah.
And I dozed off, and Juan looked at me and said, is this important? Anthony Davis for Luka Doncic? And I said, that's not real. And everybody said
that was everyone's reaction.
Yeah, everybody's like, there's no way that's real. And I wake up Sunday morning, I'm like, did that really even happen?
Not only was I convinced that Shams got hacked, when I started seeing like Dan Wojcicki from the LA Times and other people tweeting this, my instant reaction was, oh, it's real. My reaction was, there's some type of league-wide NBA Twitter hack going on. Like, this is an orchestrated... That's what I thought it was. I was like, this is an orchestrated hack.
Yes.
Like, somebody is messing with us all. It was only when I saw in the headline stack at ESPN.com an article about it, and then I think Windhorst on TV.
Yes.
And I did think for a second, like, is this a deep fake or is it real? That's the point where I said, oh, my God, this is happening.
Windhorst chimes in, and now you know it's real.
Well, he's on TV.
He's on TV saying it.
So again, unless it's a deep fake, which I did wonder. I'm like, is ESPN being hacked?
Well, I saw Shams this morning say he thought he had gotten hacked.
He got hacked.
Get out
So-
of town. How did they hack me?
Wow.
This was my Saturday night. Lakers play great in the Garden.
Fantastic game.
We interview Max Christie after the game, who had a great game, shut down Jalen Brunson, had 15 points.
Yep.
Said, looking forward to playing your brother on Tuesday. He goes, yeah, he'll be hurt, but it'll be good to see him, blah, blah. We leave. I get on the bus. The bus goes back to the hotel, and I've got my phone in my pocket, but I'm not paying attention to it.
Right.
And I get into my room. I have 117 texts. And I look, the first one, by the way, the first person who texted me with just the line, is this real? Jacob Emirati.
Yeah.
No way.
And so I turn on SportsCenter.
Yep.
And there's nothing. There's no banner. There's no anything. And then it happened.
Yep.
Somebody popped into SportsCenter and said, "This is real." I call Michael, who was on the second bus.
Yeah.
And I go, "We just traded AD for Luka," and he goes, "Hold on, I'm in the elevator with the bus family. Say that again." And I went, I got to call you back because at that point I said I got to be 1,000% sure.
Right.
10 seconds later, Michael calls me. I go, it happened.
Yeah.
We traded 80 for Luke, and like even Bobby Marks said he called texted Shams and said, "Are you good?
Yeah.
Like, did you get hacked?"
Well, just because it came out of
nowhere.
I mean, it was.
And this was Andy.
nowhere.
You know what this was? And by the way, also happened on February
I know.
1st.
Yeah.
This was the Pau Gasol trade.
Yeah, Pau Gasol.
Nobody knew it until it was done.
Right, but with respect to Pau Gasol, who was a great Hall of Fame player, incredibly talented, I think like 4th overall pick or whatever, he ain't Luka. This type of deal for this level of talent who has not even entered his prime, that doesn't happen.
I know.
Like, this does not happen, much less without a full-on bidding war.
You're right.
It doesn't happen.
Well, you look at, like, Bridges went to New York. What was it, 5 number 1 draft picks? They only gave up one of their number 1s in this deal.
What don't we know?
Well, that's a
the
question a lot of people are asking.
Yes.
But, DeMarco, you know what this reminds me of? It doesn't happen very often, maybe once every 10 years. But the best college football player I ever covered, ever saw, and was this way for 10 years until I saw Reggie Bush.
Rocket?
Was Marshall Falk.
Marshall, okay.
I was a reporter in San Diego.
Yeah.
And I saw Marshall. And so I knew Marshall Falk was a once-in-a-generation player. And if you guys remember.
When he got traded to the Rams?
Right. He was on the Colts.
Yeah,
right.
And one day I hear
the
Colts don't want to pay him. They're trading him to the Rams. I went, oh, God, the Colts don't know what they've got. And you guys had a call about 20 minutes ago that I was going to go here, but your caller went there first. I think some of this might be having to do with the ownership change.
We were talking about that.
Miriam Adelson is, she's not a sports fan. You know, she
casino magnate.
Right. And the reason they bought the Mavs, the reason Mark Cuban sold the team to the family, was that they're trying to legalize gambling in Texas. Mm-hmm. And if they do, they want to build a combination arena casino. And so this is a financial money play, a land
We don't
play
want to pay him that much
for the
money?
Adelsons. And so when when Nico went to the new owners and said, okay, just planning ahead, guys, we got to pay Luka $350 million next year. They're like, get the F out of here. We're not paying one person $350 million.
This actually, it's interesting. We
But
were
he's
talking about
Luka.
this before, and I want to stress, I don't know this is the case, but it got me wondering. Mark Cuban has been very, very pro Luka for a long time.
Yeah.
I wonder if him getting out from all of this, like the economics played a role in this. If he was going to be selling to the Adelsons the majority share, like having any idea that
They gave him an offer he couldn't refuse.
but like him having any idea this could be the direction being moved forward with the Mavericks, he's like, I don't want any part of it.
Well, I think when they way overpaid Cuban. And I
Oh,
think when
you mean
they
money.
offered the
Okay.
money, he went, I'm out. I'm going to fix the drug industry. And that's what he's been working on is
Okay.
low-cost drugs for people.
Everybody?
Pharmaceuticals.
Well, yeah. And he's if you know
Way to differentiate.
if you've noticed, he's nowhere to be found. He's
Right.
not talking.
Yeah.
He left Twitter. He's on Blue
Unbelievable.
Sky now
Yeah.
or whatever that's called, and so he's completely out of it. But if you go back and you look at the Adelsons, Mace, you know what remind me of in that sense? If this ownership take is even 10% accurate, when the O'Malleys sold the Dodgers to Fox, they traded Mike Piazza
that's
like
true.
he was just a guy.
Like, bam, gone.
And they all went, wait, you can't trade Mike Piazza. And the O'Malleys never would have traded Piazza. But Peter Goober didn't care.
But this gets to something I bring up all the time, and you can relate it to like the Dodgers, for example. They've been loading up, and people, Dodgers are ruining baseball. Like all these owners, maybe they can't spend to the level of the Dodgers, but they can all spend more than they do. It's an active choice when you say, I won't spend it, because I can tell you, Miriam Adelson, she can afford.
Got it.
She can afford Luka.
I think I would need to look.
Oh,
I
she's
would
worth
need to
in the
look this up,
billions.
but I think she was the biggest donor to the Republican Party in the
she's
last
up there.
election.
She's been very, very involved in politics.
Somebody said union busting.
They can afford
Well,
it.
that's like on the platform,
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
The idea that they can't make this work financially, BS. This is a choice.
Yeah, she's worth $32.4 billion.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
This is an active choice. And
That's like
owners,
half
I like
of
how you
Homer,
paused
isn't
on the
it?
bill.
right, and all
Yeah.
owners across sports, they make the active choice.
Well, and Andy, this is another good comp because you've been doing this as long as I have. Do you remember when the Brooklyn Nets were owned by Mikhail Prokhorov?
Yeah.
And he wasn't a basketball fan. He was just a Russian billionaire. And he bought – the reason he bought the Nets was to get the Barclays Center. It was a land deal. And so Prokhorov takes over, and they did a whole bunch of stuff that you just shook your head at and went, wait, did they just trade all of their assets for 35-year-old Kevin Garnett and 36-year-old Paul Pierce? What are they doing? And you
That wasn't Kidd, was it?
And you wonder –
Kidd was the coach.
Yeah, but you wonder – if the owners got involved here and went, well, look, we don't care. We're doing this for a casino arena deal. You guys do what you want. And Nico said, well, they're going to fire me if I play one player. If I give one player, he can't come out and say this. But if I give one player $350
that much money, they're going to fire me.
And the
Well, I
fact,
mean, he can't even do it. It's not like he can. He can't give Luka Doncic that max deal without ownership signing
starting
off.
to make sense.
Can't
Starting to
do
make
it.
sense now.
And by the way, DeMarco, very quietly, because this Luka deal has literally put the Super Bowl on the back burner.
Yeah.
Has put everything on the back burner.
Oh, there's a Super Bowl? Oh, yeah.
Okay, did you guys very almost quietly this morning, because all anybody's doing is talking about Luka?
Yep.
Miles
Yeah, we
Garrett
talked about
wants
that.
out.
Yeah.
Yay!
That's Miles Garrett's the closest thing to Aaron Donald that's in the NFL today. He's
Any
not Aaron
place-
Donald, but
any
he's close.
place other than this division, I'm so happy.
And also
No,
along.
I think I'll take it so far. I think the Rams should go after him.
Of course, I don't know.
Rams
where,
haven't spent any money on defense. Spend it on him.
Speaking
would
of the
love
He's
NFL,
to.
under contract for 2 more years.
Love to.
speaking of the NFL as well,
Yeah.
the Texans are hiring Rams tight ends coach and pass game coordinator Nick Cayley
Oh, did he really?
as the new
OC?
as the new OC.
Good for him.
Oh,
Another
man.
job.
Another
But
job.
Another
here's,
job.
Another
here's-
McVay assistant.
Here's a reason why you should always strike while the iron's hot. Last year, the offensive coordinator of the Texans was doing interviews for head coaching. I don't know what his name is, but he was doing interviews for the head coaching job. I think he did 3 interviews. He didn't get one. This year, the offense sputtered,
Yeah.
And he's out.
And he's cold again.
Well, no, he's out. They fired him.
Yeah.
And so now that guy missed his window.
Yes.
And a lot of that is missed your window. The thing about this Luka deal is this is a deal that Dr. Buss would have made.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Dr. Buss, remember I used to pound on the table and yell star-driven town?
We used that today.
I got that from Dr. Buss. Dr. Buss would tell people the difference between the Lakers and everybody else is our fans expect stars.
Well, I mean,
and
every GM around the league would make this deal.
But
Oklahoma City wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
95%. OKC wouldn't do it. What do you mean?
They wouldn't trade all their assets for Luka.
Well, we didn't trade all of our assets.
Right.
That's
the unbelievable part.
Right.
Yes.
What I'm saying,
would they have nibbled around the edges the way
Sure.
the Lakers did and made this deal? Sure.
I mean, respectful. I mean, you are correct that Dr. Buss was willing to push chips in the table, all that, but like this is a no-brainer deal. Like every team around the league, more or less, would have done this deal
for that haul in return.
Yes.
Absolutely, it's a no-brainer.
I'm surprised, Ray, how many people. I'll read some of these tweets that people are tweeting at me, going, "I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. Dallas won the trade," and I'm like, "Really?"
Well, regardless,
they love AD.
It's interesting though,
Yeah.
and we'll talk about this. I think, obviously, Dallas is a better team than the Lakers are right now.
Right now.
That trade makes complete sense in the context of 2025. Now, the Lakers are thinking about beyond 2025. They're thinking about who's the face of the
what
franchise
about now,
in 5
though?
years.
What about now, though? What about this year?
It's
TBD.
interesting.
We got.
I mean, were you in pursuit of a championship? Did you ever think that was a
Boy,
possibility?
I'll tell you what. After that Knicks game, I thought,
Right.
that
So how
team-
about now? How do you feel?
I think it has to be the front, not the front end of, it's the main end of, but they've got to do something else. You can't, you got
that's
to
what he
add
said.
bigs.
It's TBD. We don't know how good they are right now until Thursday rolls around.
Yeah.
But if you're asking me if this roster as is what we have after the trade deadline, in the short term, the Lakers got worse.
Yes.
Because the way they played against the Knicks, and they were incredible.
Great.
That's not sustainable for another
defensively.
30-something games.
Right.
Can you recreate the star-driven league thing right here in front of me?
Star
I love the
effing driven
soundbite.
town?
Star effing driven town.
Yes.
There you go. That's what I'm
Yes.
talking about.
I didn't think it was possible. There it is.
I've been beat. I'm trying to beat that into the audience for years. Nobody believed me. Everybody made fun of me, and look where we are now.
There we are.
Exactly
He
right.
is
sir.
and not just a star, he is an international star.
Oh my
That's
God!
right.
Get in
Worldwide.
shape. Is that? How about him being out of shape?
Yeah.
How much does that factor in? I
Yeah.
mean, what do you've seen the guy on the floor before up close? Is he?
Here's what I don't get about these conversations
Go ahead.
of Luka being out of shape. Let's say he is. Let's accept the premise that he's the most out of shape guy in the NBA.
Okay.
That he's fat. He's playing at 270 pounds. Isn't he?
265 is
Okay.
what I heard.
Let's not make it larger than
I
it
don't,
is.
I don't want to exaggerate.
Isn't he Babe Ruth? Isn't he a
Oh.
fat guy who can perform?
Yes, he can.
You know, I mean, Andy, he's got 5 first-team All-NBA selections.
He's really good. I mean,
can't pull fat.
By the way, I was listening. I pulled so. If you listen to our show today, you're going to hear so many opinions. We had a 6-hour flight home, and all I was doing was pulling sack the whole way home. And one of the things I heard, everybody, Andy, I'm guessing you did this. Like the theme yesterday was the thing everybody's doing was emergency podcast.
Right. We did ours. We did one.
I listened to yours.
Thank you.
I listened to the emergency
So one of the
pod.
emergency podcasts that I pulled from, you'll hear some of this today, was Bill Simmons, Ryan Russillo, and Rob Mahoney on The Ringer.
Oh, did Bill not take this well?
He's in shock like the rest of the league. But what one of them said was they brought up the overweight thing, like one of you guys just did, and Bill or Ryan said, look at the numbers. If he weighed 350 pounds and was smoking cigarettes on the court, I would trade for him.
Of course you would.
Because
You just described Lottie.
right.
Nah,
By the way,
not 350 though.
So you want to bring this full circle?
Yeah.
Vlade
I know.
lost his job because he passed on Luka. He drafted Marvin Bagley, who's almost out of the league now, and he passed on Luka. Luka went third. And so that
And he had a relationship with Luka. He knew him well.
cost Vlade his job. So Nico knows. This is why this is a really ballsy move for Nico Harrison, who's a good dude. He's
huge.
It's
gamble.
ballsy unless this is a directive from high above.
right.
Yeah.
But what Nico did, he knows this is a fireball. If Luka turns out to be the next Kobe or the next Magic, and
Done.
all of his stats, by the way, indicate that he's heading there.
Yeah,
he's really good.
I think Nico can't survive in Dallas,
Well, it's
which
kind
would
of
be a shame because he's a great guy.
It's kind of a sliding doors moment, right?
Yes,
I mean,
it
it's
is.
possible for this to. It is possible for this to work out for both sides.
Sure.
Like if Dallas makes a run, and if you look at that Dallas roster and say, "Geez, add a."
Well, people don't want to hear it, but the Pau Gasol trade worked for both teams.
It did.
Yeah.
It did.
Yeah, they ended up with Marc Gasol. It worked well. Losing Max Christie, I
Yeah.
think that's a sneaky good pickup
What I
for
would
Dallas.
say about Max Christie, who I love, is if you're operating under the assumption that he was just a throw-in, you haven't been watching.
Absolutely.
He's more than a throw-in.
He's a real.
He's a legitimate NBA
I
player.
imagine Dallas was very insistent. We want Max Christie in this deal.
But it wouldn't stop me from trading for Luka.
No, not at
That's
all.
what I'm saying.
By
So
the
he's
way,
good, but not yet.
How Rob was able to do this deal without including Austin Reeves, without including Dalton Connect, without including both number one picks,
Keep going.
is stunning to me.
What do they know that we don't?
Well, this though.
Well, maybe it's the owner.
One of the ways that Pelinka, I don't want to say lucked out, but it was fortunate for him. Dallas wanted this above everything else. Clearly, even above the haul for Luka, they wanted it clean and quiet. And if you keep it clean and quiet as your first priority, you are limiting your leverage and getting everything you want.
Yes.
All
And
right,
Nico Collins, not Nico. Yeah.
He kept calling him Nico
Collins.
Nico
One
Collins,
time. Yes.
Nico Harrison.
Yeah.
What a day!
What a day!
What a day!
What a day! I'm out of things to say.